And with that, we are going over to the commentators. One final Erangel. Let's see who can take it.
One final Erangel.
Come on,
One
come on,
final
Wendy.
chance potentially to play during PMWC 2025. Two eligible teams currently on Smash Points. Of course, we're talking APG, who just makes it off the back of that game number 3, Erangel, and for the other top dog, Yangon Galacticus, who's been here now for a couple of maps, but they haven't been able to seal the deal. But now is their opportunity. If you want to stay up to date with everything that's happening on the map, go ahead and check us out on YouTube. Have that up so you can follow each and every route of our potential championship match. I'm Taylor Reflections Noble, joined by John. We'll be calling the action over the next 3. It's going to be a lot of fun. John, things are getting serious, and Weibo is looking to also be on Smash Point after this very map.
I mean, you say we're covering the next 3. We just don't know how many we're covering.
That's right.
It could end at any moment, although it will have to be the end of a match. But Weibo, with a back-to-back, have made a monumental ascent up the tables to be in the contest. They are just on the doorstep right now of getting into that Smash zone.
Come on, YG. ဒီပွဲအောက်က FR game ကနိုင်လို့မရဘူး
I said
ချစ်ကန်ယူရမှာချစ်ကန်ယူရမယ်မကပြည့်နေချစ်ကန်ပဲလို့နေ Come on, look like that.
It is not out of the question that is occurring here. If we get to a match 5, if Weibo are able to really take this one away and not be on top of those tables when it comes to those points, because it's all about that smash. And an APG gonna let that happen either.
Ooh, I don't know. We'll see. The thing about Yangon Galacticus is they've been getting blessed by zones, and they also have been playing very aggressively, which has been pretty much their undoing. The question is, why aren't they parking the bus? Why don't they slow things down and start playing in a methodical way that led them to this very moment? Now, points still matter. If we do go to game number 6, of course, if a team is on Smash Point, they win Game 6, they then take the championship. But let's say a team outside of the running of Smash Point takes it, well, then it would default to the points winner. In this case, right now as it stands, it would be Yangon Galacticus. So points still matter, but if I'm Yangon Galacticus, if I'm APG, I'm going for it all. I'm trying to win this right here and now and shut everybody down, because the reality is, John, the longer these games go, there's more chances for other teams to be on Smash Point themselves, and potentially for them to steal the championship away despite them not having the point lead.
It is, of course, that outside chance, that title, and not to mention the cash that goes along with it. It's going to be looming overhead, a bit of a threat here. $500,000 for first place is up for grabs. You drop down to second place, you allow that to sneak, you slash that number in half. Down to 250.
ဒီဖလားရငါတို့တက်ပဲဒီဖလားရငါတို့တက်ပဲ Come on.
You don't want to let that happen. And Yangon Galacticos, Alpha Gaming, both of them essentially
Come on,
as we go into our
Come on, Iran game. Come to the way Iran game ပါမယ်
match number 16 coming through.
Come on ကွာ YG Come on ကြိုးစားထား
towards Stalver on the northeast side.
ဒီချစ်ကန်လေးပဲစားပါကွာမင်းတို့အမှတ်ကလည်းပြည့်နေပြီ
Predictions
ပတေးပါလိမ့်မလို့
in the arena.
နော်မနက်ကအတိပတေးဝင်စစ်ပလေး bro စစ်ပလေး
Over
Chicken
the
man,
next
chicken
3
man.
potential matches for Weibo, 5 points away from reaching that
Ini
Smash
semua,
Point
kalian
threshold. Very close, but could also
ချက်မလားမသိဘူး
be close, but could also be infinitely far away.
မကွာ144မှာကွာအမှတ်ကပြည့်နေဟိုအနေနဲ့ revolution မနိုင်ဘူး shit ညချ
Far away, depending on how these drop.
Come on.
Galacticus, this is their best chance
နှစ်
to
တင်
win
နှစ်တင်ဖြစ်
this
နေကွာ
tournament
ever လည်းမက
on
မီး
a
နေ
Smash Point
ဟိုမှာ
full set.
အောက်ကဘာလို့
Reason
ဝို
I
င်း
say
ဘူ
that
လာ
Erangel,
gaming ရတယ်
in
မှာ
my opinion, from what I've been
123ပဲ
observing,
128မှာဆို
seems
မိ
to
ပြီ
be
ကွာ
where they feel most at home.
match point
If you
128မှာ
flip the script, we go to our last 2 Miramars. I look at APG to then be the favorite.
ဒီ
So if
3
I'm
တင်းလူ
Yangon
အောင်
Galacticus, I'm locking it
ကောက်ကောက်နေ
in
တော့နည်းနည်း
right
ဝေး
here and now. Map number 4.
ဒီမှာဒီပွဲကမင်း ever ချစ်ကန်ရသွားရင်သွားပြီနိ
I don't want to see Miramar because my chances of winning might have just gone down the drain. APG's on fire. But one of the things that's been hurting them is they only land military. They don't have a secondary drop, and because of that, they ran into issues a couple of maps ago. It took them a little bit longer to get to Smash Point, but yet here they are. Now, Military is going to be quite active. We've talked about it. 3 teams on military. Things start to get crowded. APG is now one of them.
They are going to get involved on military. They get to drop out early for the first time today over towards their drop spot. But the circle sends up towards the northwest side, so teams moving over towards Georgia Pole. That's normally Yangon Galacticos, going to have potentially a little bit of a better time. But on that north side, you've got those vehicle drops that could potentially get a little bit messy and get
ဇုံ
involved
ထဲ
with
မှာတော့
other
easy ပါပဲ
teams. But it
ဇုံထဲမှာ
seems
တော့
like
easy ပဲ
they're
ပါ
extricating
ပြီးသားဇုံဘက်
themselves
ကတော့အမြင်တာပြီးသား
effectively.
ကိုရီးယားနေရာပူသက်ရှင်ကောင်းယူပြီးတော့ stiply ဆော်သားမှာကွာ
No knocks being
Can't
seen
even do
just
that.
yet. Of course, we're looking at Weibo as well. Down in Primor's got a split up towards Quarry as well. Nobody really contesting on that spot. Again, early on that plane path, they should be looted nice and quickly. And that west side rotate, very available for.
Very available indeed. And well, for Yangon Galacticos, they land a little bit short. Normally, they're up towards Georgia Pole, which would be phenomenal for them, being dead center. This time around, they will land a bit more to the eastern side of things. For Arena, already running into some issues. What a sky! Getting
ကားနဲ့တိုက်တက်သွားအာထင်နေကွာဒုက္ခ
the knife, and one is down. But Sky needs to get out of here, stay alive as long as possible.
ကြီးရတော့တကောင်ကြွသွားပြီအေးလိုင်းရလာကြတယ်ဟာအခုချိန်ကြီးရောက်
Good news for Bora towards the bottom of these tables. Arena try to defend. But to be honest, no one's really paying attention to these teams down low.
Hey, what the
It
hell?
is 4 players to a vehicle for Yangon
Ah,
Galacticos,
yeah.
which we hate. But it does mean that they are going to have to grab a couple more vehicles on the road. And the buggy we first picked up by Smile.
ဒီပါကွာ Come on ကြည့်ကောင်းနေကမှပါလို့ရလာတဲ့မစောဘူးလေ
Right there as well, but they don't
ဒီ
want
မှာ
to
မြန်မာဝိုင်းကြီးဒုံလုံးနေမစောဘူးမြန်မာပွဲကြည့်နေမြန်မာပွဲကြည့်နေမြန်မာပွဲဟုတ်ပါတစ်ပါနေရ
A great opportunity for Yangon Galacticos to play for in-game. Not get too
Smile,
antsy.
smile.
Let's not try to overexpose ourselves and go for eliminations.
ဝါးကြီးကိုဘာဖြစ်နေလဲ Come on
Let's tone back the aggressiveness. Again, I feel like they got way too aggressive in that last game. Would they still have won? I don't know. It would've been tough, but they were getting blessed by zones. Here, they have the best chance. This is quite literally the most perfect
ဟာလာပြလိုင်းရနေ
opportunity as it currently stands for Yangon Galacticos to hold it down, center zone, play for late game, and just stay.
ရောင်ကြီးတက်လိုက်လားလောက်စမ်းပါဟာလာကူလိုင်းရ
Stay quiet. That's my game plan if I'm them. Now, you do have teams moving in. Team Secret's going to be on the other side of the river towards Georgia Pole. And then, of course, E-Arena starts to come in as well. Maybe tempting fate to...
အိုင်ရှိပါလီလိုင်းနေရလောက်ကွာနောက်တစ်စင်ထိုက်ချက်360လောက်တော့မင်းနိုင်လိုက်တော့ငါလကူရမှာ
Maybe tempting fate to go into where Yangon Galacticos
လက်ပြတ်တယ်
is currently at. They might go where Team Secret is. But we also shift our attention to APG. Once again, center of military. And they've got to make a decision. Eastern Bridge, Western Bridge. Where do they decide to go?
ရောင်ဟေးလိုင်းကြီးကမဟုတ်တော့ဘူးလောက်ကြီး
Well, they've got 4 Thrives or Eda potentially to deal with them.
Could be problematic as time goes on. Team Secret have a position now against Joker, who's actually taking the fight fairly
Yeah,
effectively here. Went down very, very low fast, but Frankie wasn't quite able to connect those final rounds. And now Frankie is in danger with Tony K and Sakura on the bottom floor. They will need to call for reinforcement, and in they come. Team Secret rallying around their high ground player. Sakura on the windowsills, looking for the shots, pre-fires the angle, and actually catches Zerus on the crossing. Beautifully found. Now Tony K has to turn up the staircase.
He's going to go ahead and camp up here, Frankie. Holding it down, Nade's
Yeah, how come
cooking.
they don't
Don't
know?
think it's going to have any impact. I'd like him to pull it back if I was him. Sakura,
Yeah,
though,
that's
very
what I'm talking
limited health, and finally taken down. Team Secret.
ဟေ့မတစ်ပါနဲ့မတစ်ပါနဲ့တောင်းမှမှာလေ
Taking this fight in stride, and an opportunity to get their down player is here, and they will be successful. As Turney K will fall. E-Arena starts to run on
ငါလက်ကျိုးတယ်မှာ
player Secret. Sakura, though, very limited health, and finally taken down. Team Secret taking this fight in stride, and an opportunity to get their down player is here, and they will be successful. As Turney K will fall. E-Arena starts to run on fumes. Joker last alive. And I just don't know if he's going to have what it takes to take down the four-man unit of Team Secret.
This is an important fight to have concluded early. With the circle as it sits, teams are going to start to move towards the northern shore. E-Arena not being there opens the door for teams like Yangon Galacticos, like Power at the moment, to potentially try and sweep on through. It also leaves a little bit of an opening for Weibo on the west flank to maybe move over that long Georgia Pole Bridge.
Ida starts to move across the western bridge. APG to follow suit. Thundertalk most.
လက်ပြတ်တယ်မှာဝိုင်းရလဲတော့ပြီးတော့ဘူးလားကြည့်ကောင်းတယ်ကိုဝိုင်းကြီးပြဝိုင်းကြီးပြဆိုရင်လည်းကိုလိုင်းရထစ်ပြီ
APG's going to have to fight really hard to continue their way to center zone. That's why Yangon Galacticos are in such a great spot. Although Smile, I do feel he's a bit spread out. Galacticos are in such a great spot. Although Smile, I do feel he's a bit spread out from his roster, and that gives me a little bit of concern. I understand you want to lock down these bridges, and that's great for eliminations, that's great for points, but stay with your boys, stay together. There's no reason to get too antsy here.
Taking a shot on the stairs, I mean, that feels antsy to me.
လက်ပြတ်တဲ့စိတ်ကဒိုးလာပြီ
I would say,
you know, a little bit of a pop there. Maybe a signal of things to come. They weren't able to close down, getting a little bit too over-aggressive. They've taken some damage, but they're establishing control on both sides of the river now for Yangon Galacticos. So a lot of overlooked positions, and that's the danger that you play into crates, right? It's so
Yeah, so he got on. He saw like a motor. Oh, yeah,
Getting out of there, if you overcommit early, is really, really difficult once teams start to move in. We're on board with APG though now, and they are being careful on their bridge.
Buddy, there, APG's going to have to fight really hard to continue their.
ပြောတော့ဟာတကူပြောတော့နောက်ကြနေငါ
And now APG getting relatively close over at Rozhok.
လုတ်ပါဟာဒီဆောက်လိုင်းနဲ့ငါလည်းကိုရင်းနေကြအောင်ထောက်လာရမကောင်းမှတ်တော့တူရမှာလား
Such a blockade that now sits to their north that was all southwards of them before. They retreat and they fold back.
This is interesting, and now APG getting relatively close over at Rozhok. There is a chance maybe they clash depending on the route APG decides to take. I assume they're going to go more east and then go up north towards where Thundertalk is currently at. But I agree with you. Yangon Galacticos letting Falcons get through along with a multitude of other rosters now puts them in a tough spot because you guarantee, well, I can't guarantee, but I at least think they're going to have to go north.
This is the thing, right? They didn't do either of the things that position was good
for.
Force teams out towards the south. Take aggressive fights, force a blockade, force a traffic jam on that south side, and choke those rotations out. 2, head north before everyone else. You already have that advantage in terms of the pacing, and they've done neither. They took a little peek here and there, and they played it timid. They folded back into their compound, and now they're on the edge of the circle. They can still do something from here, right? There is still that opportunity, but I feel like they may have made a mistake in this situation. We'll have to wait and see if it's going to pan out that way. I also spotted Weibo. Young teams towards the top, right? They rotated up that West Georgia Pole Bridge. They've gone now wrapped around up towards the Shooting Range Hill on the north side. They have a nice spread on the west side of this circle.
Yes.
I like what Weibo has done on this match. A lot more
Weibo
Alter Egos, I think, are in prime positions to have a deep run in this game. And two rosters, you know, Weibo obviously 5 points away. I mean, they could get that with placement points depending on how they play this. For Alter Egos, a good game here puts them closer and closer to the smash points. Loving where they're currently at. They can just hold their ground. They look strong. APG finally starts to get up towards the top. They rotated up to Rawsock. We have another shift, which surprisingly still has Yangon Galacticus in it on the southern portion, and they are relatively uncontested. So another deep run potential. But for that narrative against Alter Egos, they now have to go down south towards shooting range for Weibo. Still relatively strong opposite of Team Secret.
It's a non-zero possibility that Alpha Gaming crash into Yangon Galacticos' position here, and we get a fight for the smash point early in this game. We're still waiting for teams to start to drop here. We have already lost one, but there's still 15 or 14 more to go.
Chicken the boy will chicken the boy
at the end of it all. Fireflux, they've been busted
boy
down to
chicken
3
ya
right
if
now.
I let me out so nó boy nó có tông nên nó biết đó.
Stop a little bit short. Can't stay in this compound,
Okay.
and they will have to get on the road.
WB hả?
Same
Mất gì
story
vậy?
for them, a little bit
Tông
more
nên
south
luôn á.
though.
So fourth Thrives.
ခုနပွဲတိုင်းကွာစားတယ်chicken အဲ့ဒါ
Valak
ခါရဲ
catches
ပြီး
one off guard.
နိုင်
Fireflux
လိုက်ကြိုင်
Swish,
ဝင်
yeah, just pumping gas over there. Unfortunately, instead of moving forward, and that will take, of course, they will take advantage of that situation. Fourth Thrives, a team that played so well throughout the group stages, now find themselves knocking on the door, potentially reaching Smash Point. Another roster that needs a solid game here in map number 4. It's a possibility, and that's what makes this grand finals great. We've got two teams who are already on Smash Point, but we've got teams who are definitely looking to make their way. We get to game 6, I'm expecting maybe 4 or 5.
I mean, it could go that way. It depends what teams like Alter Ego, what Fourth Thrives are able to do here. It feels like those are the two teams who are, well, they are most likely to join, right? Especially with Fourth Thrives already getting 3 points. They're up to 95 now. It's still quite a way to go. I think it's safe to say it is still very much a way to go. Unless you're just going to do back-to-back chicken dinners, a la Weibo. It's very difficult to make that one work. With where Fourth Thrives are right now out in the east, it's going to be pretty tricky for them to enact that.
So before Yangon Galacticus had Smile go as a solo across the bridge, this time around 3 go up. Team Secret gets close, but they leave Renat down low on the shoreline, potentially closing that in if they do need to rotate back depending on where the zone ends up shifting. But I get so nervous when I see those solos out in the open like that. I really hope Renat does not get caught off guard with a third party.
At the moment, though, we're on board with Alpha Gaming. They are circling around the south side of Falcons, who are crunched in the middle of a bit of a standoff here, but is sort of concluding towards their north, and I imagine the Falcons going to want to get stuck in. Alpha Gaming, they're rolling around these hills, they're not peeking, they're getting information, they can hold out here for a little bit longer. Yangon Galacticos, in the meantime, have got a player from Team Secret now playing for the North Point. See if they can do a little bit more from there. Fourth Thrives still fighting on Alpha. They've lost IQ. The rest of these rosters, Alter Ego as well on the north side. Going to make this rotate very, very tricky.
Got Fireflux in this area. Alter Egos, Noxium Red Force also moving in. If I'm T24, I'm trying to get Naki back up, take the hovercraft, and potentially disengage if he can. But they've got to go through multiple rosters, so it might not be a possibility. Phallic, Smoke's going to help a little bit. He'll get behind the car. And is Naki getting picked up? Well, is this nade going to connect? It gets close, and it will knock Naki once again. And that's going to leave one Thrives member to still try and fight for his life. Actually, not as their point. We said they needed a good game potentially, but we still have APG 4-man units, and they are deep into this game so far.
It's going to take at least 2 matches for Fourth Thrives to get up into the Smash Point boundary, which means match 6, their only hope to maybe sneak in and get a chicken dinner there. But again, it's on back-to-back chicken dinners at this point. Eyes on the top 3 right now. Rosters on the table. The circle went up northwest. That's going to help Weibo potentially. Yangon as well, bolstering their position on the northwest side. So we'll see if they're able to find it. With Alter Ego stuck in this scrap on the northeast side, I don't think they're getting out of this one unscathed, especially with Alva already down. Fireflux are right next to them. Falcons are to the south of that. Thundertalk and APG beyond them on the horizon there. I don't think Alter Ego are going to be able to push through this one in a healthy way to take that chicken dinner on this match that they would so desperately need to get up to that boundary.
Well, one thing we know about Alter Egos is they know how to fight. They know how to get scrappy, and that was represented in Game 6 on Miramar just yesterday. With all 4 still up, well, maybe 1 down at least currently. I think
Myanmar
Draco's
no one do
might have a
any.
chance, but you're
Chicken
right.
yawa.
It's not going to be easy. And with Koa knocking down Rosemary, John, I'm starting to believe in what you're saying. This fight on the eastern side has been taking place for quite some time now, and it's still going to be probably another minute or 2 minutes before it's concluded.
Falcons picking up a few points there, picking up their teammate too, as they take the fight and they draw it away. Fireflux will fall in their face, but Yangon Galacticos versus APG. This is
Okay,
the fight on
YG.
the top side of the tables.
Oh, yeah,
At the minute,
Managa
on the
မြင်နေ
ridgeline, Yangon Galacticos have position
Risky,
with 8
yeah,
Alpha
yeah.
Gaming. Rock
Managa
hard
ထိတော့မြင်နေကြ
swing
တာ
from the east side, and they're pushing in. First player to go
အဲ့နှစ်တင်အောင်
down
တော့
is
တွေ့မှရ
Mola
မှာ
from
ဟုတ်တယ်
Yangon Galacticos. Nades over it, and
Mana
there's no
တော့ပေးလိုက်ရပြီ
equalizer.
Smile starts to back away, reposition.
If I can get
Top's
one,
gonna try and get his
give me
teammate
a
back up into the play. Smile though, he's not going to
Look, I'm
relinquish
gonna
that
build him,
pressure.
no.
He's going to continue to push up. Doc does have
I'm
a
gonna build
great
him,
angle if Smile
Come on.
overexposed
Three.
himself.
What
This
guy?
is a
What guy?
critical fight. You have two Smash Point teams facing off against each other, and
Mana kami nanti
arguably,
tuan-tuan.
you could say whoever wins
Come on,
this,
come on.
especially if they win it in dominating fashion,
If I
most
do got no-
likely
no- no-
could
no-
in
no-
fact win this game and win the tournament.
Con.
Gets
Big,
clocked
big.
on the sidelines there, and it's Regnum Kaya to try and take him down. The SLR finds the angle.
If
Doc
I get-
potentially
nhớ rồi,
reservoir behind this tree. Regnum Kaya will come under
Kêu
fire
là
from
smoking
teams like
me
Coda,
rồi.
from teams like Team Secret as well. And Zjol has an answer over towards Wild. He'll get that knock, and Regnum Kaya's sightlines will start to get diminished here. Playing that forward position towards that north side
đang
hold,
bị
it's
là-
going to work out well. And Regnum Kaya now playing only as 2. They only
Come on,
have
come on.
one active sightline that allows the res to come through for APG, and Yangon Galacticos, they're not going to
Manaတော့
continue
ပေးလိုက်ရပြီ
to
ကောင်တော့ 3 ယောက်ပဲကျွန်တော်
No, not at all. And they also have a hardcover POI, which is wonderful for them.
APG
So when
APG က
APG,
တယောက်တော့
if they do decide
ကြောက်
to
တော့မယ်
push
ထင်
forward,
တယ်မ
APG
ကင်နိုင်
is
တော့
going to
ဘူး
be in a tough spot.
ဟော
So
က
the question is, will
အာ
the
ကြီးက
third
ထောက်
party
ထားဆို
Regnum Karia truly put APG into the
ဟုတ်
dirt?
ပါ
Well,
APG
for
တစ်သိန်းလုံး
Silas,
ကြွား
he's
ကွာ
worth
ကျန်တဲ့
it.
တင်းနေ
Red Force
ကျန်တဲ့တင်းနေ
also
ရတယ်
have
ကိစ္စမရှိ
Weibo
ကျန်တဲ့တင်း
looking
ချက်ကရလို့ရတယ်
ahead.
ဒီပွဲလေး
We've lost Ragnar from Power.
ဒါပေမဲ့
Ida
ညီမရရင်တော့ကောင်း
up
ဆုံးတယ်တ
against
ကယ်
them
ကောင်းဆုံးပဲ
from a distance. You also got
ညီမရရင်
DRX
ပြီးပြီဒီပွဲ
joining in
ဒီပွဲ
as well.
ဖြစ်ကန်ရရင်နိုင်ပြီ
Fights
ကော
galore taking place, and well, for every player that gets taken down, for every team that's eliminated, that puts other
Luba,
rosters closer to
Luba,
Smash
Luba.
or closer to a victory.
Power eating lead right now. As
ဖလိုက်
Ida
ကင်ပြန်လာခဲ့
taking
ပါ
them
ဖ
to
လိုက်ကင်
task,
ပြန်လာ
but
ခဲ့
they have had their fair share of punishment here with Aaron going down.
ဖလိုက်
It's
ကင်
just
ပြန်လာ
Emery
ခဲ့ဖလိုက်
left
ကင်ပြန်လာ
standing,
ခဲ့
trying to flex those big muscles that we've seen on him. The size of that lad, indomitable, but right now cowering behind this ridgeline with the blue zone at his back.
DRX.
ဖလိုက်ကင်ပြန်လာခဲ့ဟေးဖလိုက်ကင်ပြန်လာခဲ့ဟာ
DRX holding it down, not wanting to overcommit in this moment. By the way, the Alter Egos Horde fight still underway. That eastern side has yet to slow down. Nice shot from
Come on,
Goodman
come
up
on,
ahead. That's
come
on
on.
Smile. That is a critical down, and for YG, they have to make a big decision. Leave their hard cover and go get the pickup. They're going to commit for it.
The difficulty here is that Yangon Galacticos have to leave their hard cover.
မကြီးတော့တော့
Actually
ကြောက်
giving
နေ
a good attempt at holding against DRX, but you've got to imagine
Yeah.
his number is up. Will go down as they cut through him. DRX managed that one cleanly. Ida going down as well, leaves 9
yeah,
teams
yeah.
remaining. Placement
Oh,
points
yeah,
coming in
okay,
soon,
yeah,
which
go on
remember
in.
is important for Weibo. They need
မ
5
ကြီး play
points
ညူ
this
ညာ
time
ရောကွာ
to find
simply
that
simply
point.
လို့ပါ
Smile did
simply
get res,
simply
Yangon Galacticos, but they still have to move north, and APG have 4
တောင်း
players
မော
alive.
easy play ကိုနေနေကြ
It's
ဟေး
so
ချ
tricky.
ကန်းလို့နဲ့တိုင်းရော
It's
ချ
where
ကန်း
Regnum
ချ
Kaya
ကန်း
are playing, and it might get even harder with DRX trying to backfill.
There they go, and YG was firing a couple of shots. Sides is going to go up
YG
top,
wine
try
out.
and challenge the YG
Oh, yeah,
boys.
တွေ့ပါပဲ
This is
မင်း
going to get tense.
နိုင်မဲကောင်နေရတော့ wine
Smile
ဖြုတ်
back
ပါ
on his feet. Nade cooking. It's thrown.
ဟောရေး
Newman
spine ကြပါ
manages
ပြီ
to dodge another one thrown on Soaz, but he dodges it
Spine
as
ကြပါ
well.
spine ကြပါပြီ
DRX continues to progress.
ပါခေါ်
Smile,
နေပါ
he
ခေါ်
is
နေ
dropped off for the second time in just a short amount of time.
ခုနလည်း spine တော့ပြီးပါ
Grinning ear to ear right now. The main threat from the south side taken down,
Oh, you
but
wine will put
DRX
that
may
in.
just
Yeah, he's got
sidelines
that.
take their place. Usurp that
ဟာတင်
position
နေ
on the south
သွား
edge
ကြတယ်
of
ကောင်တွေက
players
လုံးဝတောင်းကုန်းကြီးပေါ်
four.
ပလိမ့်
The
နေ
Yangon
နေကြတယ်
Galacticos were playing around with before. Hyunbin nade over the top play cloud, sidesteps another. A Smile finally bleeds out. He's staying alive on a sliver of HP, and Scissors cut along from the sidelines. Romeo steps into the fight. The nade finally takes him down, but Romeo
Sigala.
pressured out by the blue zone.
Romeo, like you said, he's got to move. He's got to go, and he's pretty much the last hope and chance.
ညနေ Romeo ပဲ
For
ကြ
the
မှာလား
opportunity of Yangon Galacticos to close this out in Smash
ဟော
Point.
ကြကြောက်ဝင်ကျွန်တော်
Three
အဲ
for
သွားပြီဟေးသွားပြီဟာ
Puts him down, and APG now staying alive. A 4-man unit have a real chance to close the
ဝိုင်း
tournament
ကြီးရဲ့မြင်နေကွာလုံးဝ simply ဆော်တယ်မှာဟာ
There are so many angles up the top of the hill that can take shots
ဟေး
up
ဖာ
this
ကျန်
way.
ရဲ့
It's a
ဒီပွဲ
question
သွား
of
ပြီလား
keeping your head
ဟေး
down,
ဖာ gaming ကနိုင်တော့မှာလား
finding those later game rotates. We're in state.
မြင်ရတစ်မျိုး
Shots
Thế
out
mà
of his
nhỉ?
way. It's a question of keeping your head down.
Con này đánh nó kịp,
finding
con này đánh nó
those
kịp
late game
bu.
rotates. We're in stage 5 right now, which means there's a lot of variability. And
con này ta mày còn một xí độ nữa.
again, Magnum Kaya get the knock over to Doc on the tree line. It's red.
มันจะป่านนี้
But do they have the smokes? Do they have the time to go
เกม
for
จะ
it?
มาเหรอ
DRX
ไม่
are
ใช่
right behind
ชิค
them.
กันนี่เดี๋ยวเว้ยรู้เราก็มากกับพี่จะมีงานเลยเกินมา
Pincer
สิปริม
DRX
สองต้องงอยหมอปลิงมาหรอ
Magnum
ที่
Karya
ทำ
up ahead, potentially Thunder Talk with the line of sight from
สิปริมสอง
the
วิ่ง
East. APG's
แค่
job
อย่าง
is
นั้
not
น
going to
ที่
be
สอง
easy, but
ไม่ดี
let's
ไว้
face
ไม่รู้
it, it's not easy to be a PMWC champion. So Alpha Gaming has to fight through. Weibo on the top. They're fighting. It's getting scrappy, but they're
แล้วเอฟเอาพิวจะอีเสาไหนอะไร
losing
เนี่ย
forces quickly. The question is, were they even able to get 5 points? I don't
เอฟ
think
เอา
so.
พิว
They've managed to break that boundary. They are just short of it. Goodness me, they have fallen short of the mark. And again,
เอฟเอาพิว
it's going to be into the next match unless APG win it with 2 teams potentially in that smash zone. As we refocus, Doc gets res. He's now playing all the way on the west side, and the teams up the top of the hill gonna have to move.
Team Secret, Hoda, they've got to go in. For Tien, he's gone. Thunder Talk's forces are now down to 2. That alleviates a little bit of pressure off of APG,
เจ้าเอฟเอายาหุ่นยานี่
but maybe even focuses more from Ragnar Karya up ahead, because now they don't have to worry as much about Thunder
พิวแล้วกูไหนอ่ะ
Talk. Doc, watch your back.
กอง
Silas is
นี่
taking
กอง
you
นี่
down.
It felt like he was slow on the trigger there for Silas. He spotted
ฟาดของน้องจ่าเลย
a player from Team Secret as well. What are you doing stood up there, my man? A broadside found, and Doc again has to get rezzed for APG. They have to commit forwards, but they are so open to these sidelines.
Going for it.
And DRX could rule them out of this match. Reapus is low. The 2 players from APG committing onto the res onto Doc. DRX, it's go time.
ไอ้เนี่ยเอพีจีของนี้อะไรอยู่ไหนไม่กองนี่สวยนะวายเนี่ยเราซ้อนกันโดน
Up the ante onto APG. This is a beautiful opportunity to take them out and continue this turn.
เสาไรอย่างงี้เสาไรอย่างงี้
DRX starts to push up.
ก้อนนี่เนี่ย
Opportunity. A nice shot.
กองลงไป
Cupid
ปากของ
puts
มันทุกหน้าโน้ตกองแล้วยังเกมอีกก่อนที่
gonna be Reapus fully finished off.
ก็
But Doc
ที่ไอ้จะเป็น
fights
ดองลง
back. Doc gets a knock onto 1.
He needs
โดก็มาพี่กับทีมที่ขนาดในกองเรานี่
to give something back to his team
Okay,
here.
APG
He's been
ต้องออกมา
picked
จากหน่อย
up plenty.
ต้องออกมาจากหน่อย
Now he
ก้อน
needs
ก้อน
to
นี่
pick up the slack where his backline
เนี่ย
is
ดิ
starting
เนี่ยดิมินก่อนนี่
to fall. They're playing as 3, and DRX
Blue
have
BG.
3 players bearing down upon them, and he's down again. It's
ดูพี่เทีย
now
ร์ปันไม่ยากเลยน่าสร้างงานเลยน้องไปของพันบีดิ
playing as 3, and DRX have 3 players bearing down upon them, and he's
ก้อน
down
นี่
again.
ดอชปาขอแข่งเลยอ่ะพี่
The 2 players for APG
Good,
to maybe
good.
take this one home. They'll
ก้อน
get
นี้อ่ะ
points.
เป็นเกมไหนไม่ก่อนนี่เลยน้องวายนี่เราซ้อนกันโดน
With top falling, it's only Ziol left.
Ziol, the last hope and chance. Will the
ขอไม่เจอหน่อยก้อนนี่
tournament, and now will the solo make a heroic run? Well, he's surrounded. DRX, Team Secret.
เท่าป่าเท่าแร่
Will
นี่
the solo make a heroic run? Well, he's surrounded. DRX, Team Secret now starting to crash in where DRX was just fighting against APG. Regnum Karya now forced to watch their back against Hoda. Sleepy falls. Regnum Karya controlling center zone. The last one from Hoda, last alive, is going to be No Fear. Down to a solo. Regnum Karya starts to push onto him. Thunder Talk with 2. Zeus moving in. Jaiki up ahead. Wild taking a lot of damage. Meanwhile, Zion still stands.
Only just, though. It seems like he is not long for this one. As soon as Team Secret start to extend control, or DRX on the flip side, he's gonna go down here. Regnum Karya can't quite peek onto him right now because of Team Secret.
เอฟอาร์ก้อนนี่เนี่ยก้อนนี่เราจะแกนยาวแค่ตัวนี้วะ
Silas wants the angles, he wants these shots, but he can't quite find them
ဒီ
just
နေ့
yet.
လေး
Wild
ရောက်ပြ
is
ရ
down.
ဒီ yes ကတ
The
ပတ်
last
တင်းမ
player
ကျန်
from
တော့
Aura is right behind them. No fear, nade over the top.
He's
That's
here
still
to go in,
going
you know.
out. An APG laps on the south side,
Don't
meaning
think
we're
it's on,
going into Miramar.
Yes, we are.
Laps on the south side, meaning
Go
we're
on in.
going into Miramar.
Yes, we are.
အေးဖာပြုတ်သွားပြီ
PG, a great Miramar team.
Good. နောက်ပွဲထပ်လို့မယ်
Just a bit
ဟုတ်
for
ပါ
other
မြန်မာ
rosters like DRX, Regnum Kari.
ပလာမြန်မာအတွက်ပေးမြန်မာအတွက်ပေးညချစ်ကန်တဲ့ပွဲလေးလိုတော့ကွာ
Side, they've had it for a long, long time. They've been taking shots at that hillside for the last 7 minutes, and they have been finding
Okay,
points.
yeah,
but,
see,
well,
see,
actually,
now
they've been
we're
finding
still trying,
knocks,
now
but
we're still
not that
trying.
many points to convert.
Now we're still trying,
They've been
mate.
snuck away from the other teams playing on that hillside. But now, 3 players alive for Regnum Karya. They need to move south and potentially down the hill. Thunder Talk with 2 playing on the east side of this circle. They've got a couple of sporadic pieces of cover that sit before them. I think the hardest time
Look
here
at the
is
EL.
Team Secret with 2. They have to make a mad dash.
The thing about Team Secret, they've had
When
some
you see
deep
people
runs
doing,
today
yeah,
as it
it's kinda
stands,
weird
but they have
without
yet
ball.
to be able to finally get over the hump, finally close out a game. Is this their opportunity? Well, I love the line of sight from sitting up from a distance. Thunder Talk most likely going to mow down Xerath, but you do have Regnum Karya starting to get active, starting to move just a little bit, and they're pushing where Thunder Talk is currently at, and they have the high ground.
They've moved into this one. They know that Team Secret unlikely to push super far into this and backfill them on the high ground. Thunder Talk would cut across them, which means that they do have the freedom to move laterally on this. Unfortunately, Team Secret up on these rocks do have an angle or 2 onto this high ground. So they may have just pushed themselves into a little bit of a corner here. However, they don't have to take this fight. They can allow Team Secret to take care of Thunder Talk and try and put pressure on the north side.
Wanting to make the first move. A lot of utility's been thrown, mind you, especially from Thunder Talk's perspective. I don't know how many they still have in the backpack, but gonna have to face up. Sitting, overexposed a little bit. Xerath takes the shot. Sitting back behind the tree, goes for the transition.
ဒီ
He's
ဖလာ
down.
ရဖို့အရင်နီးဆက်နေပြီ
Dead sat
ဝိုင်း
behind the
ကြီး
tree there. The
ချ
spray
စ်ကန်
down
လေးပဲ
on
စား
the
လိုက်
cross
စ
is
မ်းပါ
good,
ကွာ
and that should be a
Fair
flush
on.
nice and quickly. Team Secret under pressure, and Silas able to rain down the hill, and maybe they can start to rack up a few elim points for this power position that they've been playing for the longest time.
You got Team Secret, Thunder Talk now running on fumes. Jing so weak. Wild just needs to hit 1 bullet. Well, now a little couple more, but either way, you got to favor Regnum Karya. Loxy starts to push up. Frankie is going to drop Xerath as well. Now it's just up to 1 member from Thunder Talk. It's seeing from a distance. Only a tree to hide behind, and it's not enough. Regnum Karya control the pacing of the game, eliminate some heavy hitters, and they put themselves closer to smash point.
Weibo falls short of the mark of the smash boundary in that
Why,
match. I
Nate
think
here,
that's one of the
Sonic
biggest
Gong, yeah, no.
storylines here, other than, of course, no finish of the
If-
tournament.
if-
But Weibo not making that 128 is huge. They needed 5 points, they got 2. Maybe
这个ပြောတာမ
3,
ဟု
I
တ်
think, with the
ကိုယ်လည်း
placement.
တစ်ခါတစ်ခါဆိုဒီကောင်လေးထက်တော့စကီးကကောင်းသေးတယ်
That is not going to be enough. So
Sorry,
they can
mà
only
biết là
get
già
a
đó
smash
luôn.
victory in match number 6.
That's right.
Moving into match number 5, only 2
Cái
teams
này con
can
đi thất
win it
đà
before we
đi.
would end our tournament anyway. However, it could upset the point standings. If a team is able to sneak in match number 5 into that boundary, things can get messy over towards the top.
Well, there it is. Map number 4 is done. The tournament will continue, and coming up next is going to be Miramar. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, map 5 coming your way.
။ဝိုင်းကြီးနိုင်နိုင်စမ်းပါကွာနောက်ပွဲတော့ဝိုင်းကြီးနိုင်နိုင်စမ်းပါလို့အဖိုင်ရော
Reach your impossible. Lenovo Legion.
ပွဲပဲလို့တော့ကွာချစ်ကန်လေးရနေရနိုင်ပြီးသွားရင်ကွာမကပြည့်နေကွာကြာရဆောကြီးပြည့်နေမှာကနှစ်ပွဲရှိနော်ဝိုင်းပြောချင်တော့သုံးစမ်းမှာ နောက်ပွဲနဲ့အီရန်ငယ်ပဲကွာခုနဆောင်းဟော့ပြီးပြီအီရန်ဆိုင်းဟော့တော့စောကြီးပြုတ်သွားအီရန်ငယ်နှစ်ပွဲစော့ပြီးဆိုတော့ဒီပွဲအီရန်ငယ်တော့ပြီးမီရမှာနှစ်ပွဲကြံနေအေဖာနဲ့နောက်တဲ့င်းနဲ့ချက်ကန်မရဖို့ရေးကြီးတယ်အမှတ်ကတော့ငုံနေငါတို့ကအသားကြီးဖလားငါတို့တက်ပဲဒါပေမဲ့တရားသားမှမလျှော့နိုင်
The highly anticipated addition to the Mummy series outfits is here. Paired with the new Ice Tube Glider, the Polar Spectrophage set is just what you need to freeze your enemies. Or send them ablaze with the Inferno Feed set's new upgradable Chain Inferno Uzi. All the Mummy outfits are back. Get them all. Join now and collect the whole series to turn all eyes on the battleground. Event period, July 10th, 2025 through September 2nd, 2025.
ဝိုင်းကြီးစီပလီပဲချစ်ကန်နေစားလိုက်အစီလေးဖလားလေးယူခဲ့နော်မြန်မာဘူးစင်19ရာပြတ်ထားတဲ့ကောင်တွေကိုဖလားယူပြီးတော့ဖက်ခွက်နဲ့ချက်တော့ရခဲ့တယ်
Well, that's Erangel all done and dusted. Regnum carry here towards the very end, looking strong. But for all of these teams here, they are just fighting for a little bit more prize pool because this game went off the rails. We saw those northern shifts. Joining me, we have Seven Neptura as well as Maxman to talk about this. Neptura, a lot of these teams that are now in the Smash Zone or close to Weibo up the north, trying to get something done. They don't enter the Smash Zone. Oh, I'm going crazy.
Heartache. It really is heartache coming in here. They tried so hard and got so far, but so far it doesn't really matter because they don't come into that smash point, right? Just a couple of points away, and they tried so hard. I already said that, but they did try so hard. They got a lot of points coming in there. They tried to get a lot of those teams waiting for the right time, trying to recreate what happened in the third game of the day, but it just didn't work out. That zone was just not going to be going their way, and we go over the match ranking. We see 7 elimination points coming in for Regnum, stealing a lot of those points away from other teams.
Just way too passive. You can't play the same way that you were able to play it in the past. You're going to have to make sure you attack those teams, especially if you're trying to get there within the Smash Zone. It's not going to be enough, and I mean, it wasn't even enough to get into the first page. I do got to give some props, though, to Alpha Gaming. Somehow they were able to find a way into those circles. I will get a chance to talk about them a little bit later, but yeah, for Weibo, more aggression, Max.
They had literally the perfect setup because Alpha Gaming were fighting against Yangon Galacticos. That was like the perfect setup for them to enter the Smash Zone, and those two main teams you're going up against not being able to actually convert that chicken dinner was so important. Unfortunately, not quite able to get as many eliminations as you just said, Seth.
Yeah, Yangon gone, but then, of course, Alpha in those kinds of dips. Neptura, it's as if they were there too early, right? With a team eventually coming from the high ground, as well as Team Secret eventually coming in from the west. It's not the easiest place to survive there at all.
It's really not. I never loved that position coming in for them. I understood why they did it. We were discussing it backstage, weren't we? Like, there's a lot of dips. You can just hold for a while, just wait for other teams to do something. But for me, I was like, it's too center in that zone because it's way too open. All those teams on that hillside can look down on you. You had Yangon in front of you as well. I think it was Romeo in the compound there as well with a different angle. So for me, it was a very, very risky play.
Mr. Seven.
I'm just going to be looking at some of these teams. I mean, top damage dealers, Arctic Eagle. That's a team that's currently trying to fight for the top 4. I thought with 4 tribes going out early on, I thought maybe they were going to try to make a push there. Just sadly, it doesn't end up going their way. And with Regnum, they're also trying to get in there. They're trying to get into the money. And with that performance, it definitely pushes them closer.
I mean, they were in 6th position at the start of the day, 7, and they've been slipping, not really able to get any results in the first 3 matches of the day. This chicken dinner just like we saw at the very start of the day, can bring you a lot of money possibly. So I think that is definitely going to be the case. I'm very excited to see where they are in the rankings. They might be in the top 5 because that was actually a big 17-point match.
Yeah, you're already talking about those huge potential leaps that do come along. The fact that we started with a leap of from 50k to 120k, so there's still so much to play for these teams as we continue things on. And now moving into Miramar as well, it does make me wonder because Seven, you were questioning if Alpha Gaming doesn't get it done here, and then going into Miramar, this might be Yangon territory for sure.
I mean, for Alpha Gaming, they've been able to get a 3rd place. They've been able to get a 2nd place. So the performance is there. They just haven't gotten the win.
Yeah.
You know who has gotten a win? YG, Yangon Galacticos. That's what I want to see out of them. But they're continuing to just mess up their gameplay style. Yeah. I'm not enjoying what I'm seeing out of them. This team used to play edge, but they keep going center of the circle for some reason. Yangon, go back to what was working the past 2 days. Stop worrying so much about center of the circle. That was one of your greatest advantages.
One thing about Smash 4 is that teams will try and change their playstyle to try and hopefully convert a win, but they've converted wins before, Seven. You said it early on Miramar by playing edge. It was successful in the past, and here they're trying to play center. As we saw Niptra here, unfortunately for Yangon Galacticos, they might be throwing this tournament at the very last hurdle. They need to go back to playing edge, what was successful for them in the past.
Yeah, but the other thing is as well as while they struggle to get those wins, we saw on that board there, you actually had APG with an average of 8 elims on Miramar. So purely by points, APG could take the win while Yangon are struggling.
Right, well, we have everybody's second favorite segment. It's Seven winning with 7. No, not you.
That's right. That's right. There's one thing that's been really pissing me off today,
Jeez,
and that is none other than just Doc being so far away from his squad and just causing his team to just make mistakes, especially in this scenario. I love the way that APG was winning. I love the positioning that they were able to get, but every single time that Doc kept getting knocked, it kept forcing Top to go pick him up, Refits to go pick him up, and that was ultimately what broke the camel's back. As soon as Top decided to back up and go pick up Doc, guess what? The next team was moving up, and he gave the disadvantage to them. If they would have just been able to manage themselves, stay more compact, like they have done in the past 2 days, I think we would have had a new champion by now.
Maybe it is tough stuff here. Let's take a look at those overalls and see what's going on so far, because we still have only 2 teams in the Smash Zone. Weibo was just 2 points away, Max, from joining.
If they win their 5 versus Horror Esports, they'd be in the Smash Zone. They'll try and convert them now, despite being so far behind. Weibo, this game, and just that is the worst possible time for them to possibly miss out on the Smash Zone.
Yangon
Galacticos currently a 10-point difference, so even if we don't end on a Smash, any of those 2 top teams could be the ones to take the trophy.
The other thing as well is you've got a lot of other teams actually catching up to them now. Regnum with 100, Alter Ego with 96, DRX with 96, Fourth Rise with 95. I mean, all of a sudden, not only are they no longer, or they are close to that Smash point, they don't get it, they've now got 4 other teams nipping at their heels.
Imagine if someone like Regnum Carrier then suddenly joins the Smash Zone as well. I would lose my mind, which would be kind of crazy stuff. But of course, you guys at home can get involved in everything that's going on as well, because the Airdrop Carnival, you've only got 1 day left, I believe, on it overall. You can go log in and summon a surprise airdrop, collect 225 airdrop vouchers for your chance to win official merch, smartphone, BD partner rewards, permanent in-game items, and more. Every participant is guaranteed to win. So make sure you get all that going on here, as we are now ready for our half-time as a whole, because we're heading over to Barney and Veracity, who are on the stage before our next game.
Kadia Esports Arena, are we ready for some more PUBG Mobile? That's what I like to hear now, Barney. Let me tell you now, Weibo Gaming, they can smell it. They can smell it in the air. They can smell the chicken dinner's getting ready to cook.
Yes, they can, but they're only a few points off that threshold of getting into Smash points, so unfortunately it won't happen in this game. But we still have 2 teams currently in the Smash Zone, so it could all end right here, right now, Veracity.
I'll tell you what I've been loving, though. The Weibo Gaming fans are here in full force. They've been showing their support, And just before we went live, I saw Regnum Karia giving us a little bit of energy as well. I'm loving this. I'm loving the energy.
They did indeed. Right, we'll test it a little bit. Weibo Gaming, how you feeling?
No. I think you guys can do better than that. Weibo Gaming, are you here?
Okay, things are starting to heat up here. We are about to go into our Miramar matches. Like we've already said, it could end right here, right now, or we could go the distance. It's going to get spicy. So make sure you stay locked in and get comfortable because we are heading in to Miramar.
Woo!
Miramar.
Thank you very much, Barney and Veracity, hyping up the Weibo fans because they need a little bit of a
come on, come on.
Match. That fight on the north side did not go their way, and they are going to not quite make it to that smash boundary to join Alpha Gaming and Yangon Galacticos with a chance to take it all here and to take it all now.
There it is, and now things start to get scary for the Yangon Galacticos roster, which they don't look too scared as they're waving to the camera. They actually look quite happy and content where they're currently at, but for APG, this is a real opportunity for them to take this tournament. They are phenomenal when it comes to Miramar. We looked at the stats just before heading into this game, and they were the #1 team averaging the most eliminations, but also placings as well. I think it could end here, but you did bring up a good potential narrative for the team of Weibo before we went live. Let's discuss it.
So, I'm thinking, do Weibo go in and try and hot drop one of these two teams?
So two teams being Yangon Galacticos
and Alpha Gaming.
Okay.
Do they want to try and sit
Okay,
on a
sorry.
single player, target, focus, just one?
Sorry. YG.
I say hot drop, maybe not in the sense of all going for a 4v4 fight.
Sure.
I feel like it may not be a terrible play to just drop on one single player from either Alpha Gaming or Yangon Galacticos, reduce their chances of winning, get 1 point closer towards that match point boundary. Sure. I think it might be an option. I think it's fairly unlikely. I think it's more likely that we see them just later game, but it's not out of the question, and so I'll be looking out for that. At the moment, though, it doesn't look like we're going to see that coming on through because both Yangon Galacticos and APG are out early.
That's interesting. Yangon Galacticos typically go up towards the El Pozo side of things up north. This time they're going south, maybe to throw off the scent of Hora and Falcons, who they have typically been trying to avoid. Remember, everybody, Yangon Galacticos, when it comes to Miramar, they are a team that plays in blue for the That's when they start to move up. Granted, if the zone pops on them right now, it could be great. If we get an island finish, I'm ecstatic. I want chaos, especially in our potential final map, but we won't get that. We'll get a standard zone, which means, once again, the narrative for Yangon Galacticos most likely going to stay on the outskirts until about stage 3 when they start to move into the zone. Now, for the other rosters, APG, they are a bit split. Zeal does get a vehicle. He's going to go ahead and join top and go up ahead. But Seven did bring up a good narrative, man. Doc, the docketing, right? Where is Doc always going, leaving his roster? He needs to stay put. And the same thing could be said for Mernat. The same thing could be said for Sleepy on Yangon Galacticos, because you go back to the previous Erangels, and they were just splitting off left and right. Solos do not win championships.
Got 10 AD left. Kind of
cool, right?
You know what's cool? $500,000 in a championship win.
I think you might be right, actually. I'll run the numbers and get back to you. But either way, we are on board with Hora right now, who did beat Weibo in that fight on the northern side in the last match, preventing them from potentially being able to convert a smash victory here in match number 17 of our final set here in Riyadh. And they come into contact with them once more. All the way towards Bandamad. On the south side here, Yangon Galacticos getting on looting. Nice and happy for themselves. They'll be chilled. I'm looking at where they could potentially be rotating through. You imagine that they're going to roll up potentially towards Monte Nuevo, coming through around Power Grid, potentially San Martin. There's always the option to go further north on this one, but I think it's fairly unlikely that they go the other direction and come into contact with APG, because that's really what I'm sort of looking out for here. Are those two teams going to come into contact with one another at some point during this match?
Yeah, Regnum Karya.
ကဲဒီပွဲမင်းတို့ကောင်းနေရစစ်ပလီနော်စစ်ပလီနော်မြန်နှစ်သိန်းဖြစ်နေကွာမပြည့်တဲ့သိန်းอ่ะ FR တော့နိုင်လို့ဖြစ်ဘူး FR စကီးကောင်းစကီးတော်တော်ကောင်းနေနေတွေပါလေစကီးရဲ့ကျွတ်စင်
The biggest games we have seen to date throughout the
ဘောကောင်း
entirety
နေ
of
ဒီ
the
ချင်းဒီရောက်နေရ
tournament. So highly unlikely, but for Regnum Karya,
FR
I think they've
FR
got a
တို့
kid
တဲ့
that
မရှိ
I
တော့ဘူး
really
နော်
do, but there is
ဒီ
value.
မှာ
There's
ပွဲ
an
တော့ကြာမ
argument
ယ်
that just staying in top 5, that's a lot of money, right? And that's the question that always has to be answered for the rosters when it comes to a Smash Point rule set is it worth committing to try and silence a team to continue to tournament forward? For example, challenge Yangon Galactica's challenge Alpha Gaming to continue to tournament, but you do that and you have the chance of potentially dropping out the roster. Doing that means another team who is a 4-stack has a chance to then pass you up, and you potentially lose out on thousands and thousands of dollars. So you've got to weigh the pros and cons, and you have to question, is it worth it truly to challenge the top rosters, or is it more worth it just to play your game and maintain your positioning and not necessarily go for gold?
I mean, that
နော်
is the
IG
question,
နိုင်ပါ
right?
IG အမဘလောက်အမတ်တရ
You can't really
ဟို28မှပြဖို့
fault a team for thinking
28မှတောင်း
either
လို့
way.
ဒီ
I
ဟို
feel
128မှပြဖို့28မှတောင်းလို့ဒီ
If you're here to win the tournament, if you ignore the money, the plays are a little bit different. And I think that once you add in the profitability, the longevity of a team, of an organization investing in you as a team, it can start to change how you're thinking about this one. I know a lot of coaches will come out and say, no, we're just trying to play the game, we're not worried about the prize money. They're worried about the prize money. Like, they're
ဟုတ်ပါမြန်မာနေပြီးတော့ gain နိုင်လာတယ်ဆိုပြီးတော့ ဖြစ်အောင်လို့ခါမှဖြစ်ဘူးလေ
they will be much more focused on getting towards those spots, climbing that ladder, more so potentially than going for that top spot when it's a really outside chance.
Come on,
So
come on.
Alter Egos,
This is simply so
got an
simply
outside
so
chance even further down the standings.
ချိန်တိုင်းနိုင်သွားပြီမပြောလို့
Huge pop-up game.
Save
even for
play,
them, they
save
want a
play.
sliver of a chance to take Smash Point. Because the reality is they're just a little bit too far away in the points category to catch up to first place currently, which is
မပြည့်
Yangon
တဲ့တင်
Galacticos,
မ
who
ပြည့်
still
တဲ့
have
တင်
a valuable lead
အ
in
ဖာ
the
အစား
standings.
မြန်ကြောက်ကွာမြန်ကြောက်
If
ဝိုင်းချက်
none of our
ဝိုင်းချက်
Smash
FR
Point
ဝင်ဝိုင်းချက်
teams gets a win, let's say we go to game 6,
ဟိုအမ
nobody
ပြည့်တဲ့
gets
တင်
a
ဆို
win.
တော့ဒီဝိုင်းဆုံးကြီးကောင်းကြ
Yangon
တဲ့တင်တော့
Galacticos
ပေါအောင်ပြီး
still wins PMWC 2025, but for Alpha Gaming, they are still on their heels. And
ဟိုနေ
again,
ဘေး
my
တင်ကဘေးနာ
favorite
ဘေး
team
ဘေးနာတင်က
to
ဘေး
close
တင်
the
ဆိုရင်ဘယ်
tournament
လိုသိကြလဲ
in map number 5, but they're going to have to fight
မ
tooth
ပြည့်
and
ပြီးသားတင်ဆို
nail
ရင်ဝိုင်း
into
ပြီးဆုံးကြီး
the
တော့နိုင်
zone.
ငါကိုကျွတ်စင်
Fourth Thrive's going to be just above them. Alter Egos to the right, but you also got to think Yangon Galacticos, Weibo are also going to be coming behind you. So you've got some competition all around you.
မင်းတော့ဒီပါမသိ
In
ဘူး
terms
ကြွ
of
မြန်
teams
ကြွ
that can steal this first place spot on these tables right now, I think from Alter Ego downwards, there's no chance ever that they are going to be able to make this one. As it stands, Regnum Karya, to be able to win via Smash, would have to get 28 points in this match, which is an 18 Elim chicken dinner.
The biggest game we've seen.
Biggest game we've seen so far in this tournament, so even they are an outside chance. Here. So it is really a three-part story in this final set of matches. These final goes at the desert, and we are with only two out ahead by a leg. For Gaming, they already rotated in. They're a little bit behind Four Thrives, a little bit behind Regnum Karya with Alter Ego parallel to them. DRX moving up past Impala. The teams are actually doing a lot of damage to APG and Yangon Galacticos last game to deny a Smash victory.
မြန်မာရိုင်းတော့တက်ကောင်းတာပေါ့ကွာ Two team ပဲဒီတော့ AC ပဲနေနေကြ16တင်လို့
Outskirts of the zone. That's going to be great for them because they can go all the way up towards Trucks Up if they decide to go north. Bora Falcons starting to get relatively close to each other. That's a narrative we've had throughout the entirety of this tournament. Falcons, Bora, and typically Yangon Galacticos, who normally are up in the north side with them, but again, they choose to avoid all of that nonsense and drop down south. Of course, playing in the blue zone as they typically do. A couple of shots are fired off, but overall, everybody is going to be okay. Falcons, Horta still have their 4 members up. But as they do start to condense, they get closer to Ida, who is going to be in that vicinity as well. The north side not as congested as the center, obviously, or even the southern portion, because the southern portion is about to get pretty active, but it still is something to watch. APG getting some damage taken onto them because up ahead is Fourth Thrives.
They're taking shots out their way. Zioldo is going to be chilled out a little bit over here. Just going to pop that adrenaline.
Con này miền tí quá, miền tí con này. Come on. Come on with it. Come on with it. Tuy nhiên luôn tí quá mà cái nào giàu thêm chả bị tí nó tí quá. Nó còn là ship lý ra mà hoàng gì. Mà cả pin này gì sao? Con này ship lý còn gì rồi. Em pha lên ship mà lấy hoàng gì lên ship mà lấy ship lý mới rồi. Ủa cái con này ship lý rồi. Ủa cái tên này ship lý rồi nhá.
For APG, who now have to go into at least a culmination of 3 rosters.
Ooh, Order right next to Smile here. Order, of course, one of the most decorated players in PUBG Mobile. 2 global titles under his belt. Wants to try and make it a 3rd here. Unfortunately, he is the outside chance with the rest of Weibo, so we'll see if they can pick up their feet. They don't come into contact with Smile. They don't want to stop off and go for the fight. Getting ahead of this one, I think, is the. I mean, it definitely is the right call here for Weibo. Getting into the circle as teams collapse.
APG's dropping south. They didn't want to head straight into the zone. They didn't want to challenge E-Arena Power, Fireflux, Regnum Karya, Falcons, Thunder Talk, who are all in that vicinity. They drop down and we might see
con này đeo được này, cao mong sau con này giờ này hoàng gì à, ship lý vào mà rồi. Tôi đeo được với thì miền to là gì này. Mà này cái này đeo thế. Smile cái này đeo thế.
You've got 3, literally our top 3 about to converge in the same location.
On the south side of the circle to the east of Los Leones. Weibo get the mountains first, and that may be the difference maker. We get a replay of the first Elim in this game. Oh no, maybe it was a later one on actually, because that was clocked over towards Fireflux. So a scrap between Ida and Ora. On the northern side. Weibo continues, so they don't stop off at the cliffs to try and hold the teams behind them.
Well, I don't know. He starts to back up. I think they are going to decide to park the bus and potentially gatekeep Yangon Galactica. So APG not far behind. They go a little bit deeper towards Egos, Power fighting for center control. They've got Fireflux, Falcons, and Regnum Karya all around them. But for Power, they have a great spot where they currently are at. Even if they do get dropped down, I don't expect anybody to crash in on them. So most likely they're going to be just fine. Still, my eyes on Yangon Galacticus now starting to get to the southern portion of Weibo, where they're currently at. For APG, they veer off to the left-hand side. They're going in where E-Arena is currently at.
They have diverged from Yangon Galacticus' rotation. The east side of Los Leones a little bit too treacherous for them to fully commit. Still at the blue zone, stage 2, so it's okay for now. Yangon Galacticus, they are behind. A compound that is surrounded by hillsides. I'm not sure about this one from Weibo. It's right on the edge. You imagine that they're trying to get further up towards the Impala Hills in this scenario. But I feel like holding this location is certainly an interesting choice.
He, from Weibo, has been kind of the tip of the spear. He's been stopping right before Yangon Galacticus, and where he currently stands, if he hops out, he might be able to get some shots. Bernats has in fact hopped out, potentially firing on Order, firing on He, who now goes up. We have a northern shift. Weibo will continue forward. APG still keeping their distance from E-Arena, and for YG, well, now getting pincered in between Weibo and potentially Alter Egos to the left.
Weibo leading the charge, Yangon right behind them, Mernat hopping out, trying to take those shots. E-Arena losing another there on the southwest side. Now close up. Fairly central, well, comparatively to a lot of teams here, fairly central on this circle. Weibo get a longhouse on the south side of it, and the Falcons actually have a lot of control over the road that splits the center of this circle.
Without question. Team Falcons roster that could jump up potentially to top 5 off these next 2 maps if we continue to tournaments. E-Arena stuck in a bowl, and that's not good for them. Already have lost a player. Falcons in a very familiar spot. Remember, Falcons was in this area trying to rotate out before they got gate kept by Yangon Galacticus, as well as a couple of other rosters just the previous day.
If Regnum Karya want to make magic happen, they do need to start to rack up these points. They've got the first, so they're out of the gates, and they've got APG to guard on the western side. Right, against a team that could potentially smash if you're hoping to get a match 6 smash here. for Regnum Karya. This is how you do it. Again, I talked about Order before being one of the most decorated players in PUBG Mobile Esports. Silas, another representative of that accolade. He has got multiple global titles under his belt. He's got that PMG title. He's got that PMGC title. And he wants the 3P, but they are a real underdog here. I talked about Weibo in this scenario as an outside chance. Regnum Karya, they're not even in the same town right now. They're so far outside.
They are outside, actually, ironically, of APG's current positioning, and they do split. They've got a 2-2 split. Regnum Karya could take distinct advantage of this because they've got 4 players who are split themselves. However, they can move in onto top and Zeal if they decide to. Regnum Karya, a team that was putting the pressure on APG once we lost Yangon Galacticus in the previous map on Erangel. Regnum Karya ended that. And in fact, getting dangerously close to each other for APG. They've been hovering around rosters, but they've stayed relatively quiet up until now. We know how dangerous he is for those, but we know how dangerous he is to himself as well. If he gets overexposed, he's in a 1v2 right now. Sure, he's got top just over the wave, but it looks like he's rotating back up towards the north. Doc over the top. Again, Silas may be in danger, takes half his health bar, but not more than that. Top still negotiating the terrain around him and will bolster this position on the south point for APG. Oh, but they might get pincered. Regnum Karya swinging wildly to the left-hand side with Wild and Go. They need to watch out for those off angles, and there's Wild on your very screen with Loxy. Loxy loves the off angles, and they're going to continue to try and pressure around to put APG into this vice script. They've got to be very careful here. And let's not forget, Reefus has totally separated from his roster. He's all the way up north, and in fact,
Tuy đồ cay này.
I'm starting to get worried.
Con này FA thì con này con nó này FA. APG thì con nó này bí. Cầm phiếu, ai còn phiếu. Con này nó còn nó số cái gì đi đó là hi chút gì. Phiếu, ai còn tiêu đấy.
Take Scarface down at a distance. Madcap can't do anything about it. But Top falls in the meantime, and he's going to go down to Wild from Regnum Karya.
It's 2 down. See, you got to stay up here. Regnum Karya once again looking to silence the team of APG in back-to-back games. They're so close to doing it, and Toshbik is pushing up. Hold his ground, retreats to the hard cover. That's all he can do.
That sentence seems by himself. And he is now facing against Toshbik on this ridge line. Doesn't quite have and the damage is for Regnum Karya. The Molotov to slow down a retreat. Doc is trapped up on this building. Ziol marching forward to get the assist here, but Madcap has other ideas. More damage sent over towards Toshbik, and APG still going to be fighting for this one.
CR thinks in trouble though. Madcap cooking a nade. Go ahead and throw it. Pull out your weapon and take the shot. He's right in front of you, right for the picking. But as he does pull the weapon out, CR backs him up with the damage. He has no choice but to continue to push up. Doc has finally joined into the mix. They've left the hard cover because of the blue. I don't think know where Alpha Gaming has gone as of yet. But again, the story on Madcap up ahead for Fireflux.
Dicey
for Alpha Gaming. And they are down to 2. They're going to push up towards Madcap. A solo of Fireflux. His ridge line is getting suppressed by power across the way. And Ziol's down as well, leaving a solo for Alpha Gaming. Now, I'm going to reframe this one over towards Yangon Galacticos because Alpha are out of the running. They went for a wide sweep out the east side of Impala. They rotated up. Then it was a hard west shift on the circle in the previous on the north side. Near to Nongshim Red Force, near to Team Secret on the east edge, and they're going to crash down south towards Team Secret.
Sibylline လို့ပြောလို့ရတယ်
If they can win this fight in sensational fashion, it would put them in such a distinct advantage, and it is looking good, at least off the rip. Safe Cloud's going to drop one. Smile's going to get the finish on the drop player. You've got to deal with up ahead. If Yangon Galacticus could win this fight,
ကဲ4ယောက်Okay DS ကတယောက်တွေးကိုင်းသွားပြီ
they do not lose a single player.
Trang moves back. Team Secret giving ground again.
Photo.
Of Yangon
Grenade တွေကစောင်းနေကျွတ်စင် Grenade ကကွက်တီလေးကြီးပဲ
and Trang goes down. Now
DS က2ယောက်ကတယောက်ကတော့ down သွားပြီ2ယောက်ကတော့ down သွားပြီနေတွေကကျွတ်စင်ရေးစမိုင်းကြောင် down ပြီ Romeo
They have have to slow down, but Team Secret will not be able to take this fight. In the meantime, though, DRX looking to put pressure on.
Here they come. DRX, Hora might be in hot pursuit as well. That's something to keep
Why
an
do you
eye
not go in if you're going to TS got that line?
Galacticus go for it. Jaiki takes a little bit of damage. That gives enough time.
They will middle them.
They're still 2 down, and they don't have the chance just yet. And slowly but
surely,
surely, starts to get it. A nade comes out. Frankie on the outskirts. That's a dangerous off angle, and as he backs away, he wants to at least maintain his tournament life. A chance is still here, but again, you brought up DRX. They're just on the outskirts.
Falcons are taking shots over this way as well. Stabilization now for Yangon Galacticos. All 4 players are there, and Team Secret are starting to fold back, have to fall away to the wayside as the circle moves away from them.
Frankie's been dropped. Romeo manages to get the pick up. Team Secret. It was a wonderful fight, but now they are left down to just 1 solo. We take a look once
again.
To focus on the remaining members, not only from Team Secret, but also DRX, and they do have a chance if they want to go north.
TS got deal with
third party, this fight to control the entirety of the north-hand side. That might be an option, and we got Romeo. He's in a vehicle, and he might be moving.
I've just seen on the Elin feed order getting
knocked
there. They only need 2 points.
One
placement, one Elin would do it. Those are the only those point scoring systems. But the fact remains that they will have to move north on this one. They will have to move from dead center on this circle. They've got so much control.
Yangon Galacticus staying alive. Harry, the nades were almost their undoing. Could not collapse in time to get the finishes, and therefore Yangon Galacticus, the dream still alive on Smash Point. The chance to close this tournament out on map number 5 still exists. And with DRX backing away, they leave the solo from Team Secret in Trang, and they do in fact go up north where Noxian Red Force is currently standing.
Gonna try and sideline over. Weibo going for a crash as well. Remember, 2 points. 2 points is all they need. And into power they go. 2 players close by and out into the ground floor. Hachi first to face. Easy on the top floor. They're gonna try and play up and down the stairs, establish a crossfire, and it's good for 1. Easy is able to close the jaws on the first pickup, but Weibo still has
You also have critical fights taking place between 2 critical teams. Cloud is going to manage to take down Duck. You also have Easy falling. Weibo manages to get 1 elimination plus the finish, but they're still 1 point away. 2 big fights. Who's going to come out ahead?
Weibo find that 2nd point on a flush, and they're into the smash zone now. It doesn't really matter what they do for the rest of it, as we want to head over. Galacticos, 3 players on the north with Young Falcons are flexing out to the north to third party.
Need to stay up. They unfortunately lost a an identical situation they were in against Team Secret and DRX just moments they're out for blood. They want to feast, and Yangon Galacticus might be the mill.
Mernat holding first. Close to being
don't
seem to be coming through. You've got to wonder how many are left in the back pocket. The next circle comes in, and this fight needs to They need this fight to end. They need to end it very quickly too.
Romeo.
And you have to deal with Falcons right after that, so the task is not
easy.
Out of nowhere, Aaron, the solo, managed to hit a shot from I don't know how many meters away, and this only helps Noxian Red Force. Mernat will also fall, and now it's up to a solo unless they can get back up to a duo, which they manage to finally do.
Cloud back to his feet, looking to try and heal. Nades in hand now, 5 for Romeo. A lot of ordnance to put down here, and they need to expend it now. Doesn't connect a lot there. Romeo dashes forward, the DBS in hand. Benny chases him down and catches his heel as it tries to go through. A 1-for-1 trade, but Cloud has 2. There will not be a smash here in match number 5. You can see the Weibo fans are happy about that one.
That's right. 2025, they put themselves in a winning spot. The question is, can they close it out? It's gonna be a 3-horse race going into map number 60, guaranteed final 2025. But now we focus our attention on the remaining players. Let's not forget, points still matter. And for Weibo, yes, they're on Smash Point, but they also have a chance to go up into second place, pass up APG, and potentially even get close enough to take down YG in game number 6 in the points category.
There are still technically enough points left in the lobby for Regnum Karja to join them as well. That's towards the top side, but that's not really very likely at all, especially with Lordship going down here. I think if these 3 points don't go to Regnum Karja, then it's impossible for them to ladder up and get into that smash point boundary. And of course, it's very, very likely that that's not going to be the case, with Falcons having a chokehold on this circle in a way that we haven't seen from them at all, actually, in this tournament. It's really been a bit of a disappointment from the Falcons roster.
နောက်ပွဲရရင်တော့ဟောဒီ WBG ကပါအမကမီးလာပြီဟာ
Followed by himself. We've seen him clutch up many times, but Kicks is going to be watching from a distance from DRX. All eyes on Regnum Karja, really, as far as I'm concerned. Again, the roster who might be able to get to that point threshold, it's not going to be easy, maybe not even mathematically possible, but they've got to give it a good effort. They crash in on Ida Aaron, a guy that dismantled YG from a distance. This time now he has to stand his ground in a shed against Loxy. Great nade to take him down half health, but still, Wild has the angle. You can't jump, you can't really move, you just pray and hope until he works, and it will on Loxy.
That is nasty business from Aaron, and another one over the top. The fire's not going to burn, and that's a flush. Regnum Karja getting dismantled. The solo in the shack. Aaron, the young firecracker on the roster. His rookie season last year, he had an impact. He wants to have a little bit more here against Regnum Karja. Tries to thread through the vehicle on the hop in, hop out sidestep, but is eventually taken down. Meanwhile, Weibo with a chance.
There it is. Weibo has a chance, but Four Thrives are looking to take it away. They're fighting hard. They are fighting tooth and nail. IQ gets a finish onto one. Weibo's numbers will start to dwindle away. Now 2 players, but Zook says, I'm not done just yet. He'll get a clean up on one. Naki will also drop order, but for Weibo, they stand with a solo, and Four Thrives are out.
Rez onto 33Z, onto order as well. It will be able to come through. Alpha is close by to them, so could be a little bit dangerous. Oh, there's a nade. Doesn't quite connect, so they're going to know there's a player close by. This should be a Falcons chicken dinner.
Absolutely.
If they don't win it, Falcons back.
Well, Falcons still very close, potentially breaking up in the top 5. That is a narrative. Alva, great shots. Hold up a second. Alter Egos becoming a narrative once again. Alva has been the clutch master oftentimes, and well, now he has a chance to do just that. I mean, he is working these angles masterfully, and for order up ahead, question is, can he take down Alva? I don't know. It's going to be, of course, solo versus solo. Winner stays alive, a chance to get more placement points, and Alpha is moving, but not for long. Orta gets it, a couple of shots in celebration. Weibo knows they are going into game 6 with the chance.
7 Eagles, 4th place. They may have actually overtaken Alpha Gaming, depending on how many placement points they're able to earn here. So 2nd place is up for grabs, a nice little pay bump for them if they can find it. Of course, coming up into 2nd place from 3rd place goes from 150 grand to $250,000. That is 100,000.
Yeah, and from what I'm hearing, 1 elim will tie Alpha Gaming. Just 1. If they can get it, my oh my, is it going to be on the Regnum Karja member, or maybe even on Kicks up ahead from order? He's got options, but he's got to pick and choose properly for Regnum Karja. If he chooses to go into Toshpik, well, Wild might be able to help. Actually, no, I take that back. Wild is fully focused on Falcons up ahead, so Toshpik is going to be the one to potentially ruin the chances from Weibo to catch up to APG.
For my money, the smartest play Order can make is staying quiet here. Not getting engaged. DRX are, I believe, just about in this circle. I think it is Shaq. I thought he might have been outside of the circle here on the south side, but he's going to be right up and against it. Falcons know where he is. Order should know where he is. He's going to be locked into this one, especially with the circle shifting out as it does. DRX is going to have to go out first, but Order hops back into the vehicle. He's repositioning. He wants to get a little bit of a different angle on this one as Falcons start to extend their influence over this circle.
Yes, they do, but one of the things that's done Falcons in previous games is getting overly aggressive. This time, I think it is going to be the off angles from the solo. Now, Kicks dropping here would be wonderful for Falcons. They get him off of that side angle, and they can focus on everybody up just to the north-hand side. But I do not want to discredit the power of where Order is currently at. He truly could be instrumental once he finally does get active, especially when all these fights end up taking place. I don't know. Maybe he can steal this game. It would be insanity, but it is a possibility.
He's not going to have to move before DRX have to move. Before the last player from DRX has to step out into the open and get lit up by the Falcons. And, well, everybody, really, because you can see Narvalos just waiting. Okay, denied to the blue zone as well. This is a placement point for Weibo. That does the same thing.
Oh.
They ladder up into third. That's another point.
Narvalo hit the shot needed to take him down before Blue did, but Blue was successful. Well, they know where Order's at. Again, Toshbik on that off angle. I just don't think they're ready for it. Shots going to come through. Ralph is going to fire upon him. Toshbik is going to renegotiate his position. Wild will maintain his ground. Falcons start to move up. This is their game to take. Toshbik will fall. Wild behind the vehicle. If a good nade is thrown, it might just drop him or at least get rid of the vehicle. Wild's gone. Now, you've got the solo from Weibo. It's Order. He's looking down on Falcons. He's going to manage to drop Ralph. Like I said, but it's not going to happen. The crowd favorite team, Falcons, finally back in the winner's circle.
They find the elims, they find the shutdown. Team Falcons able to get a chicken dinner right towards the end. Weibo, they are into the smash point zone as well at the top of the tables, and 3 teams now stand atop the pack.
And Weibo is officially 1 point ahead of Alpha Gaming, putting them in second place. It's been a 2-horse race for the majority of this tournament, for the majority of grand finals, but finally Weibo has put themselves in a position to beat champions.
Now we are down mà.
To one more map, one more Miramar to decide our new champion, PMWC 2025. A lot riding on the line and only one more opportunity to achieve greatness. We're going to take another break. When we come back, the final game of PMWC 2025 will be upon us.
Được too much too. Ghê, đừng bây giờ nào nó.
Dear PUBG Mobile fans, we are delighted to invite you to the 2025 PUBG Mobile World Cup at the Esports World Cup in Riyadh, KSA. This exciting event will take place from July 25th to August 3rd at the Boulevard City. We've prepared tons of event perks, such as the PMWC Avatar Frame, Esports Passion Set, Esports Passion Parachute, and tons more items. Let's check out how you can get all these rewards. During the tournament, go to the Pandora event page via Lobby, Event Center, Esports to join the event. Mormon from SEA, Top from CSA, Pedrinho from the Americas, Silas from the EU, and Prestige from MENA will guide you through the 5 major parts of the event. They consist of Tournament Celebration, Prediction Rewards, Esports Shop, Themed Outfit, and Champion Challenge. Join these activities to earn rewards and collect esports tokens to redeem even more gifts in the esports shop. The more esports tokens you collect, the better rewards you'll get. You can get up to 2,870 esports tokens from the Prediction event. It takes place from July 23rd to August 5th and consists of 3 stages that coincide with the tournament: Group Stage, Survival Stage, and Grand Finals. During the group stage, get 20 esports tokens by predicting the 8 teams you think will advance directly to the Grand Finals. Each correct prediction will grant you an additional 60 tokens. Make a total of 3, 6, and 8 correct predictions to get 300, 680, and 720 tokens, respectively. You'll get another chance during the survival stage to guess the other 8 teams that will make it to the grand finals. The rewards are the same as the group stage. During the grand finals, you must try and predict the ultimate champion. Just predicting will grant 30 tokens, and a correct prediction will grant 400 tokens. If you're unsure about your predictions, you can let your friends' predictions guide you. Find someone reliable, copy their predictions, and wait to be rewarded. The 3 prediction rounds take place on July 27th, July 30th, and August 3rd at 10:45 UTC 0. Rewards are issued the second day after each stage ends at 4 AM UTC 0. You'll receive esports tokens based on your prediction results. Note, esports tokens don't expire and can be used in future esports events. Who do you think will be the ultimate champion? Join the 2025 PMWC event and share your predictions. Invite your friends to join the predictions and watch the tournament unfold.
Sorry.
Falcons holds down the road west of Impala and is able to get themselves a very important victory to try and push themselves up the leaderboard, up for a more prize pool here at PMWC. But at the same time as well, whilst you're watching these games go on, you can also check out the EWC app, which is obviously over on their app stores, and keep up with everything that's going on here for EWC as a whole. Not only this tournament, but the other tournaments that are going on throughout all of the festivities here. Now, let's talk about Falcons, of course, here. Seven, Neptura, Maxman joining me. Seven, an important win for Falcons to try and push themselves into those higher prize pool brackets.
Once again, a team that just really haven't done much the past 3 days. They ended up getting gifted a win. I felt like this one was kind of gifted as well. They were having some 2-2 splits, but overall, it's Team Falcons pretty much getting themselves into more money in Neptura.
Yeah, and it's really well played from them as well. They have that, well, 2-2 split, I think it was, in the middle of that ravine where the road goes down. That position is really, really good, particularly in that zone. However, you need to use splits if you want to use it effectively, if you don't want to get taken out. So they actually played that really, really well with those splits, and then transferred over into a more of a 1-1-1 spread across the end of zone to actually take a lot more control. So for them, it was actually very, very well played, and they got the win for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, we just went on the second page. We have to talk about Weibo Gaming, right? They just entered the Smash with that game. They just got in, Order clutching it up at the end. I was thinking, actually, if they maybe got a few more points earlier, maybe Order can clutch it. Unfortunately, they don't get the entirety of that match. They do lose at the end to Falcons, but that fight versus Power, I was not sure how that was going to go down because that was a risky push, but luckily enough, they get the full reset, allowing them to then take a fight against 4 Thrives, against the side of even Alvov or Trigo. It was a risky one, but now they're in the Smash Zone, meaning they could snatch it away in this very last upcoming game.
Right, that's an important thing to actually talk about here, right? Because we are down to the last game now. That technically, if one of these 3 teams could smash and be able to give themselves the victory here. However, if that doesn't happen, Seven, the one with the most points will be the champion here at PMWC.
Yeah, with the way the Yangon has been playing throughout the whole day, we got to wait and see what the overall is going to be looking like, because this team has been consistent. They just haven't been able to get the win. Remember what happened yesterday, this was a team that did end up getting a win with 12 eliminations, so it could happen here. And they went back to playing how they usually play. They went back to playing edge and also hunting down teams. That is the YG I want to see going into this last game.
I mean, we're getting so hype here, 7 if during that game. It's like, rewarded you with so many wins in these finals. Back to the basics that was so successful in the past. Yangon Galacticos here on Miramar, they had a really good rotate. Unfortunately, I think you mentioned it, Kalaris, a little bit earlier. Lack of scouting. Maybe they could have a little bit of a better entry point on the eastern side of the circle. Maybe go entirely up north. But here didn't quite work out. And Nongshim Red Force were able to actually put an end to the reign of dominance here of Yangon Galacticos.
I actually also like their push onto Nongshim for a different reason, Max. Is because Nongshim and ThunderTalk were fighting it out. And actually, Nongshim is the more dangerous team to win out of that situation. If ThunderTalk had won over Nongshim, historically speaking, over the last 2 days, 3 days nearly now, we haven't seen anything else from them. So for the rest of the lobby, they're not really looking like a very dangerous team to go up against. Nongshim, on the other hand, particularly today, have been doing really, really well. So if a team like Yangon want a chance at actually winning the game, they had to take out Nongshim. So for them, going up to that north side was a great play.
Well, as you can see, the rest of the teams here are getting ready for our final game, trying to figure out exactly how they're going to approach things. Let's take a look at the overalls. Let's get a lay of the land here. Oh my days. Weibo moves into second place as well as being able to move into the smash zone. Alpha Gaming is hot on their heels, but that takeover is huge. And now Yangon, 150 points. It would be poetic, Max, if we saw them get a win and win on points overall, but we will see how this goes.
The dream is still alive for Yangon Galacticos.
Yeah.
But actually, I want to take our attention to Weibo Gaming and Alpha Gaming. They don't need to smash to win this. All you need is an early elimination onto Yangon Galacticos. Weibo would need 11 points, 12 points for Alpha Gaming to at least tie, maybe try and overtake, because you can't win the tiebreaker because they have 4 chicken dinners. So you would need technically 12 and 13 points respectively. So we could have a new champion here without the smash rules actually being in full effect.
That's right. I mean, and also take a look at all those teams towards the bottom. They're going to be fighting for that money as well, for that prize pool. Everything is so close by, but going back to the top, this is all these teams throughout the finals have been able to achieve at least a minimum top 3. Some even a win with Yangon Galacticos. It's going to come down to that final match, and it's going to come down to seeing if Weibo Gaming and Alpha Gaming can get a win.
I don't think Alpha Gaming like this turn of events at all. I mean, we've seen it too many times, right? Across global events, it just keeps happening. They keep slipping on that final day. At least it's only by 1 point. So with the final game, maybe they can actually go, actually, we've well had enough of this. It's time to get back into second place, maybe even that first rather. And maybe that's just the fire they need underneath them to get them going.
Weibo Gaming, I'm looking back at the Hong Kong Invitational. This team got saved because Influence Rage got eliminated in last second. Here, no one is coming to save you. If you are going to climb up to that first place, Weibo, it's all relying on your efforts to take this win.
And I'm going to be looking at APG going into this last match. They need to take a fight and focus on that fight, not just be taking multiple fights, because earlier they were fighting Fireflux. On top of that, they were fighting Regnum Karia, and they just weren't focusing. You got to focus on that fight, and you got to make sure you do the right rotation as well.
Well, let's take a look at the top teams on Miramar once again. Our 3 teams that are able to smash or move into the point lead are right there. And whilst we're taking a look at that, before we go into our last game, let's do some predictions for the champion. We're going to start with Maxman.
Oh, can I go last?
No,
Does
you
he
can't.
dare?
I can't pick APG. I've done it too many. I'm going Weibo. I'm going Weibo on this one. China, let's go.
APG, yeah. It's got to be.
I started with them. I'm
YG.
with them for the final day, APG.
All right, and I never give predictions, but we've got to give some Yangon love as well here. Let's get this a-rolling, ladies and gentlemen. We have one final game. You can see all of these players getting ready to go. He's going to elbow into oblivion here for this one. Those are the predictions coming out from the desk as all these teams are getting ready to go. I'm not sure that they're ready to jump straight into this game just yet, Seven. So we do have a few moments before we get to this, but it's always nice to get some predictions out of there just before what is a bit of an insane situation here, Nepturo.
Can I just how bad would it be if I changed my prediction to Falcons?
What?
Championship.
Nope, stop you. Stop.
I had to throw it out one last time. They did win the last match, but I know it's not gonna happen.
What? Cool, if you want.
I mean, one that you ended up picking, Max, Weibo Gaming, something that I did enjoy out of that last match from them. Remember, throughout the whole day, this team was playing slow. We were saying at one time it was a little bit too slow. With the fight that they took against Power, that aggression was there, and I feel like that's something that they need to have here. They need to have that switch coming into this last game.
That's been something that has been just switched up to 11 for today. Their aggression, they're looking to take fights. They knew especially how many points they needed to get into the smash zone. They know now you don't take unnecessary fights. You need to get into the late game, get into the top 8, your top 5, your top 3, get into the late game scenario and get the actual win. If they can also just get high elimination game, maybe it could work out, but all the teams can make it work in the end of this match.
I started the day asking if it was going to be the destiny, if it was going to be the dream, or will it be destruction? It turns out Weeaboo is about to potentially cause destruction here as we have the volcanic conclusion of PMWC underway for 2025.
Seismic shifts on the table to close down our penultimate match. Weibo break into that smash zone. They will join Yangon Galacticos and Alpha Gaming with a chance here in the final match of the PMWC. It's all to play for.
Here it is, the last chance, the last dance, our guaranteed final map. 3 teams have fought tooth and nail. They have given it their all to end up in this very spot, to become champions, to cement their names in PUBG Mobile history. The question is, who has it in them to close it out? All that work to not be for nothing, all that work to gain something you can never lose, to be a champion. Yangon Galacticus, Weibo, Alpha Gaming, all 3 of those rosters are going for gold. And it's only going to be one of them as champions. We also had a chance to ask our talent managers who they were predicting to take this game, and it was Alpha Gaming. So Alpha Gaming pretty much across the board, not only from a talent perspective, but also from our talent managers. Now the question is, Arena, who's winning it? Is it Weibo Gaming? I think so, maybe. Alpha Gaming have a chance. Yangon Galacticus, everybody's got their fan base. Everybody's got the opportunity to cheer and get loud. They need your energy. Get loud in the arena, because it's time to get our final game started.
Come on. Mắc vào tay. Rất là đi qua thôi. Rất là đi qua thôi. Ní tha mà đàn ông không quên à. Nếu mà chúng ta quên rồi đàn ông không quên. Come on.
Or will their key drop into the key crusher along with 14 others? It will have to remain to be seen as we take a look at where our drops are coming from. At the moment, I'm seeing Weibo. They're out over the center of the northern situation. Alpha Gaming on the south side.
Okay, so Yangon Galacticus, they changed it up before. Do they go up north, where they've been so familiar?
Come on, YG.
What's that narrative? Horda, Falcons, potentially. You changed it up last game. Yes, you go towards the south, but this time around for Horda and Falcons, maybe a bit personal. Keep them at bay, shut them down. You have to be expecting them to rotate into you. So for Yangon Galacticus, they've got to get creative, and one thing they love to do against stay blue, and then drop down south. Most likely going to see them making their way into stage 2, stage 3. For APG, however, they are within zone, but they've got company all around them.
Hey, look at that. 1 point immediately earned. Tiebreaker back on in action. I think that means that Weibo do win the tiebreaker. I believe they've got 1 more chicken dinner than Alpha Gaming, if I'm not mistaken, having earned the back-to-back that they've been able to find today. So they are sat on 2 chicken dinners. 139, of course, that will be the tiebreaker, unless Alpha Gaming win. But then it's a non-factor because they win via the smash ruling. Oh, there's so many interlocking rules. I love logistical, bureaucratic nightmares on points tables. It's what I live for.
And just to confirm, it is Weibo with 2 wins, Alpha Gaming with 1. So something to take effect a little bit later on, but all eyes, of course, on these 3 great rosters. You know, you got one starting off relatively hot, of course, being Weibo APG getting a first shot, but that also puts a target on their back, right? Shots are fired, teams are getting active, which might be in the back of the mind of the other rosters thinking, I want to third party this because this is our last chance to elevate ourselves up the leaderboard.
Absolutely. There's a lot of money that's mixed in the middle of the tables. Obviously, the 3 teams at the top have taken a lot of points, but the points gap between teams like Regnum Karya all the way down to Team Secret, right? So 4th to 12th, that drop-off could be there, right? And that is a pretty sizable chunk. 4th place is $120,000, and then you go down to 12th at 45. With a single game, they can change things around, earn more, drop down. It's a lot of wiggle room here.
Without a doubt. And for Regnum Karya, they have been the boogeyman of, well, APG over the past couple of maps. This time around, they take down Krypton from Alter Egos. A guy that clutches up, a guy that you want to stay alive. Does it impact the standings? Well, potentially. Alter Egos could pass DRX, 4 Thrives, maybe even Regnum Karya themselves. So for Regnum Karya, taking down 1 from Alter Egos, and in my opinion, the tip of the spear, albeit outside of Rosemary, that puts Regnum Karya in an even safer spot.
Absolutely, they're going to feel a little bit safer as time goes on. Behind them, of course, the Falcons coming off of a chicken dinner. Decided to predict them for the tournament win, not because they're so far down the tables, but because they're not team spirit. And of course, Netera loves team spirit. Favorite team, unfortunately.
Team spirit, rest in peace. Netera, keep sending your love to them. Maybe they'll come back next year. Absolutely. I do want to point out Weibo, however, pretty centralized in the zone. DRX do start to move in relatively close to them. That's going to be a fun one to potentially watch. But for Weibo, they're going to try and stay as quiet as possible, but they can also gatekeep a couple of rosters. Noxian Red Force, DRX, Ida, maybe Thunder Talk, who's a little bit further away. For Yangon Galacticus, again, staying up towards Trailer Park, they're going to stay there for a long time. They're going to play it slow. They're not going to get too antsy, because again, you've got Falcons and Aura, which Fourth Rise, they may be thinking about challenging Falcons. You do have T2.
Could potentially be just scouting out, trying to navigate those rotations out east. In the meantime, though, in the center of this circle, just around Hacienda del Patron, around San Martin, Weibo Gaming currently looking for position. We know what's on the line for this team. The tiebreaker order goes Yangon Galacticos, followed by Weibo, followed by Alpha Gaming. That will not change, because with the chicken dinners sitting as they are, that's the order of the tiebreakers. And of course, if any one of them increases their chicken dinner score, they win the tournament by the smash rule. So that tiebreaker order will be in effect throughout the course of this one, and it could very much come down to those chicken dinner differences.
Still close, but close enough to really have an effect on this Falcons rotation. And for Team Falcons, you know, we've been talking about them dropping the ball and struggling, and yes, they will not be champions today. But this final game, if it's good enough, could elevate them up in the top 5. So that still is a storyline. They're not too far away. It's not impossible for Team Falcons to get a top 5 finish, which, by the way, again, in regards to the club championship race, Falcons need a top 8 finish. They're currently in 9th place. So this is a big moment for Falcons in the overall scale of things for the club championship race to have a good performance.
Adding to that tally is great. They can keep contributing to their team to be able to try and pick that one up. You hope that they can do it. I'm sure there's plenty of fans at the arena who want the Falcons to do it as well, to help out on that club championship tower.
Love seeing the fans. Hey, peace to you. Great to see you. Getting excited, getting happy. Some of them getting loud. Yes, let's get it going. The final game. Yangon Galacticus starting to move in. This is very typical of their style, but again, you've got Falcons who might keep them at bay, and if they choose to drop south, which is their typical game plan, Fourth Rive's right in front of them.
They're moving on in on the west side towards San Martin for the Falcons. We're still waiting on Alpha Gaming, Yangon Galacticos to make their appearances. Of course, Yangon Galacticos, they're in the blue zone. Currently, actually, fairly close to it, all things considered, for them, certainly. They're quite close to this zone. Yangon Galacticos playing out on the south side of El Pozo, and will navigate the bubbly terrain there. He bobbles his way forwards. It's difficult. I hate driving. It's so confusing. You never know if you're going to flip your vehicle or not.
From now on, when I'm driving down
the bubble over the top.
That's my strategy. Yep. I like it.
That's
great for them. And North really has no competition if they decide to. Depending on how quickly they get over there, but there's a lot of terrain and a lot of distance between them. Also staying south, they're going to be in blue currently, and they have a free route towards the north. Both rosters, I believe, currently waiting for the next stage to does encompass water treatment, which again opens that up maybe for Hora, who's going to be the closest. They can overtake that. YG might be able to move up, but for APG, I mean, so tightly contested. Yes, a free route in, go between Fourth Rise and the arena, and then ultimately, of course, not so many rosters, and the same thing can be said. This is great for Weibo. Weibo's still dead center. They're established. They don't have to move. But Order is Order by himself.
I mean, they are fairly split right now. The question is, how long can Weibo hold this split in the center of this circle? Falcons are going to push in on the north. Regnum Kaya from the other side as well. They're looking to try and
ငါတင်နေကြည့်တော့ဆိုရင်တော့မြန်မာခုနတပွဲဒီတပွဲဆိုမြန်မာဒီပွဲကနောက်ဆုံးပဲကဲအမှတ်များဆုံးကနိုင်ပါပဲ Second me again.
From the northern side, curious where Yangon Galacticos choose to go for APG. This is going to be a tough rotate for them.
ကဲမြန်မာနိုင်ငံကနေပြီးတော့
Worried at this moment because
ဒီ game မှာနိုင်သွားပါတယ်ဆိုပြီးမှမရှိဘူးသေးဘူးနော် brother တို့လောက်လိုက်စမ်းပါ brother ဆုံးအနေနဲ့
Ida that they'll have to run through.
မြန်မာနိုင်ငံကို fly တဲ့ကစားမှာ
Again, this is the final game and so many teams are very close to catching
fly
up in
ကို
the
တဲ့
top
က
5
စားမှာ
or
မြန်မာ
even
နိုင်ငံ
bettering
ကို
their spot. You move up one spot in the standings, that's potential thousands and thousands of dollars in difference.
ဘာကြီးနဲ့ Evan ရောလုံးဝ save play ဆော့နေကြ
A very real reason to want a third party and fire some shots.
စောစီးကြပြီးတော့ save play ဆော့ခဲ့ရမှာတဲ့လား
For APG.
ဒီရငယ်ပွဲတော့အမှတ်ပြီးစပြီးရပွဲတော့နော်
North, but it's still a long rotate for me. I'm putting them on alert.
မြန်မာဆိုရင်ကြာစီကောင်းနေ save play မဆော့နိုင်ဘူးဟိုဘတ်တင်နေရှယ်ဝင်ကြ
of the PMWC. The grand finals continue to
Loba,
deliver
loba,
on the
loba.
excitement towards this final match.
Easy.
As Yangon Galacticos navigate their way up the west side, over the top of
They
San
found
Martin,
discipline now.
up and into the hills. It looks like Weibo are going to try and hold on the manor house as
အေး
well.
ပါလေ save play နဲ့
Play in the center of Hacienda.
ABG နဲ့ save play လုံးဝ save
Still,
play ပဲ
that
ဆော့နေ
split
ကောင်းနေ
worries me, especially if the team decides to go in between
ဆို
them.
နာခံပြီးကို
That's going to
easy
be
နေ
quite awkward, but for Weibo, still all four up. Not ringing the alarm bells just yet for them. Yangon Galacticos starting to move in. They're going to be just opposite of Falcons again, who are all split.
Alpha up the west side. Look at this rotate.
WBG
Swinging
နဲ့
out and could
ABG
potentially
နဲ့
backfill onto
မနိုင်ဘူး
Yangon
အရေးကြီးတယ်
Galacticos here around the west side of San Martin. This fight feels inevitable. We could remove one of our three teams here and now.
Yeah, well, I mean, it makes sense,
နောက်
right?
ဆုံးပွဲနောက်ဆုံးပွဲပဲ
What, several maps now?
ဖလားကန်ရမလားမကန်ရဘူးလား
Fighting against APG. Two teams cannot stay away from each other like magnets. They're drawn, but we do see maybe a bit of an audible as they start
အ
to
မှတ်ကတော့
rotate
17မှတ်လောက်
right
ဖြတ်ထား
towards
တယ်
Red
17မှတ်လောက်
Force.
ဖြတ်
But
ထား
the
တယ်
good news is for them, they avoid
YG
four
ကဒီဘက်မှာတယောက်
drives,
တည်း
and they now have clearance to now get in to
YG
the
က
next
လည်း
zone.
တက်
But as they
YG နဲ့
just
ရော
get here, the next zone
ABG
is
နဲ့
about
တွေ့
to
တော့မှာ
shift. The question is, where does it go? But that's not too bad. That's not too bad. But Noxium Red Force is gatekeeping the outer edge, and APG
ဆုံးစီနေတဲ့ကောင်ကစက်မှာတွေ့တော့
forward. They
တွေ့
go
ဖို့များ
north,
နေ
they go into YG. If they go south, they go into Fourth Rise. If they go east, it's straight into Noxium Red Force. And Smile is scouting, but I hope he doesn't get too carried away. He's jumped out.
စမိုင်းဟိုဘက်ကြီးချင်းကတ်သွားအောင်စမိုင်းဆောင်းကွာနေတော့ကိုယ့်ရဲ့တင်မိတ်နေဘက်ကမရှိတဲ့ထက်မှာနော်
He's going to find that
မြန်မာဘက်ကသူ့ကိုတိုက်တာ
time and time again that he has
ဟျောင်း
dropped
ကြီး
the ball.
FR တကောင်တက်ပလိုက်တာ
APG, and finally it may be the death blow dealt towards Alpha
ခွတ်တယ်
Gaming.
ခွတ်တယ်
Said I was ringing the alarm
FR တယောက်
bells,
ကြာ
and
သွား
now they are sounding as loud as they possibly can, losing
ဟုတ်ပါရင် YG လေးပါလေပြအောင်မလို့တက်လိုက်မှတော့မမြင်လိုက်ရအောင်လို့ game message ပဲတွေ့လိုက်တာ
The chance still remains with 3 players up, but you just gave an elimination to the team you're fighting against. For Hora, they start to
ကဲ
push
FR တော့တယောက်ကြာသွားပြီ
Secret, trying to
ဒါကောင်းတဲ့လက္ခဏာတွေ
they cannot, and they will be eliminated in the final game.
ကဲ DS ကတော့စောစောစီစီကြွသွားပါပြီ
Live with
DS
two
ကတော့
players down, the reses will come through. This circle
ကဲ
is
FR တော့တယောက်ကြာသွားကောင်းတယ်တယောက်ကြာသွားကောင်းတယ်
massive in on this match. The 2-2 split that they have right
FR
now
တယောက်ကြာသွားကောင်း
should
တယ်
be
FR တ
fairly
ယောက်ကြာ
trivial
သွား
to
ကောင်းတယ်
hold as it stands in this circle. The teams that surround them that are creating this buffer
W
zone
ရှည်ကြီးတယ်
not super likely to want to crash right
Blue
now.
Yacht.
So they will definitely be solid to hold this 2-2 split into the next zone. Let's take a look at this replay.
ကဲ FR နောက်ကောင်ကြွပြီ
I mean,
ကောင်းတယ်စမိုင်းညောင်းလုံးညောင်းရှိရှိုက်တာ
Hit and run.
It's
Backs
disappointing.
away,
Good
gets
day,
away with
Smile.
this. It is so disappointing. I know Seven is fuming right now because he's been setting this narrative.
FR တယောက်တော့သွားမှာ
of
ဟုတ်လား
going up by himself. I know doing the research coming into the
FR
global
back
stage.
at me here.
That was one of the things he made
YG ကို
sure
ပြ
that
သမှာ ကွာ
every
ဟိုမှာ
member loves to go up
FR
by
နှစ်ယောက်ကဒီဘက်
himself.
မှာ
But one of the things they improved on is Doc started joining
ပြန်
his
ကဲပြီးသွား
roster
ညမ်းတာ
once
ကောင်မင်းတော့ကဲ
again.
ပြီး
That
တော့
made them strong. But this time around, old habits
ဟောခုန
refuse to
ပြ
die.
ပြီးတဲ့ဟာကြီးကိုပြန်ပြရအောင်
Maybe the chances now for Alpha Gaming to win this championship have in fact gone to the grave. But again, with 3 members up, there still is a chance.
ညောင်းစ
for
မိုင်း
them to
ကြာ
take
သွား
this,
ပြီ
but they're going to have to work even harder.
Smile's just gone down from Yangon Galacticos.
ဖေကွန်နဲ့တွေ့သွားတာစမိုင်းကစမိုင်းကမြင်
Galacticos
စမိုင်းနဲ့
move through San Martin, but the Falcons
စမိုင်းနဲ့ဟို
tried to toll on
မာန
the
က်နဲ့အမြင်
And now from the north side,
မာနို
potentially
က်ပါကြာသွားတာ
down towards Hacienda, a decent spot that Weibo
စမိုင်းနဲ့မာနက်နဲ့အမြင်နဲ့ကြုံတယ်
to hold this 2-2 split. So
FR တယောက်ကြာပြီမြန်မာတင်း YG ကတယောက်ကြာပြီ
last rotate.
ကောင်းတယ် FR တီးပြီတကောင်နောက်ထပ်ကောင်ထပ်သေးပြီ
Oh, now in the firing line, he's loading up.
တကောင်ထပ်သေး good
Across the way
ဟိုင်းတင်းရဖြုတ်ဟိုတင်းရဖြုတ်နေအေးအမကကိုမှပဲအေဖာတော့ကြွားသွားပြီအကုန်လုံးအေဖာတယောက်ပဲကျွန်တော်
Once again, last alive, you go back a couple of maps on Erangel.
WB ပါတော့အဲ့ကောင်ကြီးအမကမိလာတော့မှာကွာ17မိနစ်လောက်ပဲကွာဟုတ်ပါတီဗီလေးပြပါဦးတီဗီလေးပြပါဦး
The pressure falls on his shoulders to try.
အေဖာတော့တယောက်ပဲကျွန်တော်အေဖာတော့တယောက်ပဲကျွန်တော်
to take this
ကဲ
championship.
ညီမကြီးအမှတ်လေးတော့နည်းနည်းရှားမရမယ်ဒါနောက်ဆုံးဝဲဖြစ်မှုများတယ်
There's a little bit of space, but his chances of winning this are now slim to none. However, it would be one of the most
ညီမ3ယောက်ကျန်နေညီမဝိုင်းကြီးတင်းက3ယောက်ကျန်နေအေဖာတယောက်ပဲကျွန်တော်ကဲကဲအမှတ်ကတော့အမှတ်က17မိနစ်လောက်ကွာတယ်ကွာ17မိနစ်
Okay, I think
ဒီ
it
တင်း
is very much
ဒီတင်းကဒုတိယတင်းဒီကောင်နေတင်းနဲ့17မိနစ်ဒီကောင်တွေက4ယောက်လုံးတော့ကျန်နေ17မိနစ်ဆိုရင်ဒီကောင်တွေချစ်ကန်ရသွားရင်သွားပြီလေ
the teams around you aren't likely to move with this
ဒီကောင်တွေချစ်ကန်ရလို့မရဘူးတာကြီးဒီကောင်တွေကလည်းတကယ်ကောင်းနေတရုတ်တွေလားမသိ
TRX on their position Thunder Talk Alter Ego Aura on that north side likely to
အေဖာရောက်နေတာကြီးလို့မင်းတို့3ယောက်ထဲရှိအောင်ကွာမစီကလောက်ကလည်းကိုယ်နေမြန်
for the only team in the top 3 with a chance of smashing that has more
ဟောကြောက်တုံးတိုင်နေ
Yangon Galacticos
Yangon Galacticos
they also still have a
ရှိ
chance
စစ်ဖြစ်တယ်စစ်ဖြစ်တယ်
Cloud will take the advanced
အေး
position
စစ်ပြီးဆိုတော့ကိုင်းနဲ့ရှောက်သွားတယ်ကွာငါကဦးတောင်ရလာတယ်
Renat to potentially move up. The only
ကဲ
team
အေးရလဲစစ်နေအေးရအောက်ဆုံးကတင်ရဘာလို့စစ်နေစီပလေးဆိုတော့
ends up rotating. Maybe we do see a clash between Yangon Galacticos as well as the Weibo roster, but you still got to appreciate where Weibo was at.
မင်းတို့ကောင်းနေ
Four members still alive. They've now
ဆက်တော့
marched
ရှိတယ်ရှိ
joined
အေ
together. There is no
းကန်
more
စားမလား
split. They're
ဒါမှမ
staying
ဟုတ်
tried and true to what has worked
မ
for
များလုံး
them,
နဲ့ပဲနိုင်မ
taking
လား
center
ဒါ
zone.
မှမဟုတ်
Four
WBG
Thrives
ချစ်ကန်စားတော့ရင်တော့အဆင်မ
versus
ပြေဘူးနော်
Power. What's at stake with this fight? Well, Four Thrives are currently 5 points away from catching up to Regnum Karya, which would put them in a better spot for more money, knocking them down. But it's not a guarantee. Four Thrives are currently at 0 eliminations. They need to silence Power and take down the remaining 3 members. That would put them within
အေး
striking
ဖာတယောက်ပဲ
distance
ဆိုတော့
of
ဒီကောင်တွေချစ်ကန်
Apex
ရ
Seed.
တော့နည်းနည်း
Regnum
လန့်ဝေးသွားပြီလို့ပြောလို့ရတယ်
But if they don't,
တယောက်
and
ထင်း
they
နေ
fall
ငါလူ
short,
ကောင်းဆိုရင်တော့မင်းတယောက်တည်းကြံလဲငါ
they
တို့ချစ်ကန်ရတော့ယူရင်ယူတာပဲ
but they're only going to be just there because of Solo.
Okay,
is
tayo.
last alive. Horta starts to rotate.
Ay, hindi
over.
na ako matuwa
Regnum
ni-
Karya has Loxy just up ahead, but Horta all eyes on them
that's
as they're
fine.
taking Spanish.
On the
Come,
east flank
move up,
here,
move up,
against
move up,
Loxy,
move
but
up.
Yangon
Move up,
Galacticos
cousin,
are
yeah.
moving in on the north side towards potentially
မတယောက်တည်းကတယောက်တည်းနဲ့တွေ့နေ နေနေတော့ဆောင်းကိုကျုပ်စင်ကြီးပြစ်တာနေနေအမင်းကောင်းတယ်
On the north edge, they could wipe each other out.
Good.
Loxy does go down.
အာကြီးနဲ့ထွက်သွားပြီ
With 112 points on the tables, Four Thrives could
အာကြီးနဲ့ထွက်သွားပြီ
That's it. Four Thrives can do this. Fireflux have fought hard throughout the entirety of this tournament, but I believe everything is starting to come to an end. As two
မြန်မာတင်း
players
ကြီးလူဖြစ်နေတယ်
are
မြန်မာတင်း
last
ကတော့
alive.
ကြံနေတယ်ကောင်းနေကောင်းနေ
starts to push up. Solus taken down as well, I believe, through the
တရုတ်
smoke.
တွေ
No,
များတယ်
excuse
ငါ
me,
ကို
he
ကြည့်လိုက်ရင်
gets
တရုတ်
pulled
ရုပ်တွေ
back up. I thought the shots connected well. He'll continue to fight hard. But Kicks wants to take
ကြည့်
him
လိုက်ရင်တရုတ်
down.
တွေကြီးပဲ
Fireflux, a chance maybe to pass Team Secret,
Oh,
get
yeah,
up
yeah.
into top 12. Is here, and Solus does hit
အေး
another
အောင်
shot
နေ
needed,
ကြီးရော
but
ကျွ
he
တ်စင်နေ
skip
ကြီး
drops
နေ
down
ကြီးတော်တော်
as
ကောင်း
a
တာ
nade
တင်း
takes
တိုင်းက
down
နေကြီးနေ
Scarface,
ကြီး
the
တော်တော်ကောင်း
last
တာ
hope and dream to move Team Secret up.
a flush onto Solus there. Now Scarface.
ဟို WBG ကပြောင်းအောင်မကြသေးဘူး
Fireflux.
WBG ကိုသေးသေးချင်းနေပြီလို့
It's unlikely that he's get too much further into this one, and the tournament is starting to close down for teams left.
ကဲဟိုမာနက်ကတော့
3 now.
TT ရတကောင်ဖြုတ်လိုက်ပြန်ပြီ
Done and dusted.
မာနက်တို့ကဗတ်တက်ဖြစ်နေမပြောက်ဘူး
And it keeps Weibo in, but it
Power
forces
callလိုက်ပြီ
Yangon Galacticos out.
အဲ့ဒါဆိုမြန်မာတင်းကတင်ကြီးနှစ်ကောင်တော့ရပြီအမှတ်တော့ထပ်ရတယ်
Potentially pass Weibo. The question is, will they choose to
အဲ
challenge
WBG
him? Highly
ချစ်ကန်မြောက်ကိုရည်ကြည့်တယ်ဟုတ်တယ်တင်ကြီးနှစ်ကောင်
Scarface,
မြန်မာ
though,
တင်း
all
က
eyes on him as he continues
မာ
to
တင်းက
stand
တင်
for
ကြီး
a
နှစ်ကောင်ရ
little
နေ
bit
ပါပြီ
longer,
လို့
but I don't know if Fireflux did
ကဲ
what
မာ
they
နက်
needed to do
ဟိုက်ရောင်း
to
ယူ
pass
ရ
up
တိုင်း
Team
နေနေနောက်ဆုံး
Secret. Matt taking
Con,
damage.
yeah.
Order with the third party. Yangon Galacticos might be getting taken down relatively soon. They've got to
See
play
that
this
goal.
carefully.
ကဲအေးလည်းကြွားပြီဟောင်းတော်တော်များများကြွားသွားပြီ TT လည်း TT SSTS Power အေး
Bouncing back and
အာ
forth
ကြီး
on those tables. Both
3
trying
တင်း
to overtake Regnum
5
Karya
တင်း
here.
9တင်း10တင်း10တင်းကျန်နေ6တင်းပြုတ်သွားပြီ
Gaming has a solo live with Zeal.
ကဲကဲ
Zone, he's staying
စီက
quiet.
လောက်စီကလောက်
Yangon Galacticos.
ဒီကောင်တော့နေ
Obviously
နေ
a
နေ
chance to
ညောင်
win
ဝို
this
င်း
game with 3
ဝိုင်းကြီး
members
ရ
of
ဆောင်
their,
ရင်ဝိုင်းကြီးရသွားရင်ဒုက္ခပဲနော်ဒါကြီးကိုကြီးလောက်ကြအောင်လောက်ကြအောင်
Quarter off to their off angle. Falcons obviously still around now. For Weibo, let's say Yangon Galacticos does get taken down. Weibo could win in 2 ways. A winner-winner chicken
ရော
dinner,
ဒီကောင်နေနဲ့နော်
or
ဒီကောင်
just
က
getting
လျောက်
enough
စကေးရလေ
points
သူ
to
စင်ကြီးနော်
surpass the point threshold,
တိုင်းရွေး
which is
တိုင်း
currently
ရွေး
at
မ
the
လုပ်တော့ဘူး
moment
နော်
around
ဟိုဘက်မှာ high ground တစ်ပွဲမှာယူထားရ fair ကောင်လည်းစီဘက်မှာရှိသေးတယ်
Galacticos. So
အားလို့ဝိုင်းကြီးကတော့ကြွရတော့မယ်နေထင်တယ်ဟေးညက်နေပြီဟာ
that's what's going to be needed.
ကျွန်တော်တရုတ်တင်းနေကုန်တော့ဝိုင်းတွေမှာလားမသိဘူးကွာကြောက်စရာကြီး
Let's not forget YG is still alive.
The last time the
Why
PDL
youသွားပြီ
team
လား
were
ညက်
able to
နေ
win a global title was back in 2021.
fair ကောင်နဲ့
And that was with order
ဝိုင်း
over
မကြီးညက်
Novo.
ဝိုင်းတွေတော့
If they can take it back here, what a story for the player.
ဟုတ်တယ်
A third
ဝိုင်းကြီး
global
ဒီဘက်မှာလည်း
title,
ညက်တော့ညက်
a
နေပြီရှိရ
resurgence
ရှိ
for the
တယ်
PEL onto the world stage. Plenty of fans waiting for that to happen. Murnet under pressure.
ဘာနဲ့တွေ့ခံနေရ
Sleepy.
ဟိုရေ3မိနစ်လောက်ဝိုင်းတွေနေဟာဝိုင်းကြီးကို
Behind a burned out tree.
ညီမလေးကိုဘယ်တော့မုန်းနေကြရလဲမင်း
And they don't quite have the angles to squeak the bullets around the edge there. The heel comes
မနက်ကတော့တော်တော်ကိုင်းနေ
Yangon Galacticos stay as 3.
Still a tough
ပ
spot.
ပတ်လေးဝိုင်းတွေနေပြီမောင်
Falcons start to move closer and closer to Noxium Red Force.
ခေါင်းလေးကဘေးသေးမင်းတော့မှရှိရဆိုတိတယ်ကြမင်းအဲ့ရတော်စား
Remember, for Falcons, top 8 for the club championship race is
မာ
important.
နေရ
They're
နေထားတော့
5
တိတ်မကောင်းတော့နေရ
points
တော့
away, and the team in front of them is the one they are trying to surpass. They beat them, they have a very real chance to elevating themselves up into the top 8. That's going to be a close one we have to watch. Another zone shift is about to occur in just about 50 or so seconds.
Zone never down,
DRX
man,
get
yeah.
taken down. Fourth rise, another roster.
ဇုံနဲ့မတော့တက်လို့လည်းမရဘူးအဲ့လိုဖြစ်နေတယ်
Top 4, the chances here, they're hitting the shots needed, but they do have a
WBG
down player.
ကမ်မီယာနဲ့ FR ဒီကောင်နဲ့ကျန်တာလည်းချက်ကမ်မီယာနဲ့
DRX is fighting back as
အဲ့ဆိုရင်
well.
တော့အဆင်ပြေသေးတယ်
IQ and Co.
အမှတ်ရအမှတ်နဲ့ရသွားနိုင်တယ်
And obviously,
WBG က
playing
ကောင်မှ
solo
ကိုမသေးသေးရ
with
ကတ်တာ
only solo, that fourth thrive's job becomes even harder. IQ has such a tall task, and he's down. And fourth thrives did not do enough to break in
You know,
to
the
the
thing
top
you
5.
And with that, DRX need one more point. The placements haven't kicked in, but they will
Okay,
jump
come on.
up to be drawn with Regnum Kaya. I'm not too sure who will win that tiebreaker.
ဇုံလည်းမ
But
တာ
if
ချ
they
င်
get
ဘူး
two
ကွာ
more points,
ဟို
they
မှာ
will be
သူ
free
ကောင်
and
နေရ
clear. However, let's reframe over on this northern side of the circle.
Mami, don't
Pops
get boo.
very, very shortly here. Of course, 4 players alive for Weibo, 3 for Yangon Galacticos. Aura have an off angle onto the Yangon Galacticos position, and everybody has to move. It is a mad dash to the south, and Ida
ညီမလေးဇုံကောင်းဝင်လို့ရပါဘူး
slap bang in the middle.
That's right. Ida have such a great position here. Such a great opportunity with 3 players last alive. Maybe even break into top 8 themselves. A big game is needed, but the possibility is there. Remember, winner chicken dinner is 10 points. That would put them to 94. They already have 2 eliminations to their name, so a very real chance Ida can break into top 8 over everybody else. Narvalo has fallen. Narvalo has fallen. Ralph will fight once again. Narvalo fully down and out now. Falcons down to 3. Such a pivotal fight between Falcons and Noxium Red Force, and potentially the final fight for both rosters.
Yangon Galacticos may be trying to third party this as well as the Falcons go down to 3, but Noxium Red Force seem to be bleeding
အဲ့
as
က
well.
မြန်မာနီးနေတာမြင်ရပထဝီနီးထားတိတ်မကောင်းဖြစ်နေမြန်မာအတွက်က
Heel on up, it's up to Doc to hold the corner, but Koa wins the day. Another frag around the edge, and it's going to be Noxium Red
ငါတို့
Force.
မြန်မာทีมนี้ပဲသိကြတာမင်းတို့ကောင်တွေမကြည့်ချင်ဘူး
Koa drops down and away from
WBG က
danger.
အခုတောက်တော့ဒီကောင်တွေကတောင်းကဒီရောက်လုံးတိတ်ထဲမှာနေပြီးတော့
Only allowed to approach.
တော့
And
defense
Teasy, the last
ဘာမှကိုမရ
high ground to find Ralph. Will
မိုင်ကြီးကဟိုရိုမီတော့ရောက်လာတယ်
now with a chance to hold it
ဘက်တေ
down
ကို
for the Falcons as Koa's fallen as well. Last player for the Falcons
ရို
alive.
မီကဒီဘက်
and
နဲ့
they
ဒီဘက်နဲ့ရောက်နေရ
cannot make it.
ဒီဘက်နဲ့
Top 8 denied.
တုတ်ကြပြီးကြိတ်စမ်းပါမင်းကောင်
Noxium
တွေ
Red Force with 2 stand too fast in their way.
Noxium Red
ဝိုင်း
Force
ကြီးကတော့
not
လုံး
the
ကြနေတယ်ငါ
healthiest
ရိုမီကတိတ်ချင်းမကောင်းမှတွေးကိုင်းနေ
We look over now, and Hoarder starting to crash in. Weibo are getting broken apart. Sook has moved deeper in. Yangon Galacticos are also taking damage, but they can still third party. Noxium Red Force. Question is for Sook, all by himself.
ဒါ
What's
နောက်
going
ဆုံး
to
ပွဲဆို
happen
တော့
here?
ရေးကြည့်တယ်နော်ရေး
The
ကြည့်တယ်
placement points are kicking in now as well. So for DRX,
Còn thì con này nghe tí mai à? Bây giờ nó- bây giờ nó-
Sook moves fast and out into the open. A pivotal position here for
Nhà bá này ở
Weibo
trong này.
Gaming right now.
Nó có con thật ghê quá, nó có ở quê dọn. Ấy rồi, bữa nay nó rồi.
Away from Falcons who are gone already.
Nó
Noxium
tha đấy
Red
không gì?
Force from E Arena as well. That western side
Ờ,
could
ấy rồi.
get dangerous. But
Thế có cả biết là nó vào đâu.
playing, by the way, a solo and he's in the circle.
Say Cloud's
ဒီ
down. He
ထားခဲ့
can't
ပါ
get
ရ
picked
မှာ
back up.
အဲ့နှစ်ယောက်ပဲကျွန်တော်မှာမြန်မာတင်းက
Order is starting to go in onto Yangon Galacticos. They're collapsing in. Weibo wants to
Ano, Weibo
silence
to
the
go.
Yangon Galacticos roster right here and now. But can they get their team
ဒီပွဲလေးတ
back
ကောင်
into
ကြာ
the
သွား
fight?
ပြီတကောင်ကြာသွားပြီ
They need to be as healthy
နောက်
as
တော့ကောင်ဒီကောင်တေး
possible.
တေး
Try
တေး
and catch him at a point
တေး
standpoint.
တေးတေး
Order taking a lot of damage, sleeping from a distance.
တေး
Might
တေး
be
တေး
Momo down.
ကောင်းနေ
Goes forwards, but he
Good.
meets a wall of bullets. Sent
ညီမလေး
out
နှစ်ယောက်ပဲ
his
ကျန်ပါ
way, and Weibo are throwing away their position on the northern side.
FR တကောင်
They
ကျန်နေ
try
တယ်
and
FR တကောင်
mad
များသွား
dash
ရောက်နေတယ်
towards Yangon,
ဟော
but it is
ရော
not
ကောင်
enough.
မလုပ်ပါ
They
နဲ့
were 11 points behind at the start of this match. They are now 13 points behind. And the placements are starting to add up. They need a lot more than they can get with only 2 players alive.
မလူကတားတယ်တားဒီကောင်တွေချစ်ကမ်းမြောက်ကိုရေးကြည့်တာဒီကောင်တွေချစ်ကမ်းမြောက်ကိုရေးကြည့်တယ်မြောက်ထဲဆိုရင်တော့ချစ်ကမ်းမြောက်ကကိုတော့ရောနေကြပြီတော့မနက်ကအောက်ရောက်နေဒီကောင်ဆိုတော့နေရောက်ပြီ
I mean, Horta's got him pinned up.
Hey, another main job, though.
Shack, and from one thing that I know, brother, from
Man,
these tournaments, once you have to go into the shack, it then becomes a
Hey,
death
man,
shack.
yeah, we
I'm
don't know,
worried
eh.
for Weibo Gaming.
Yangon
man,
Galacticos surviving is a nightmare for Souk right now. Oh, there's 4 players from Aura. You bet they've got an aid, and they are going to post it right through the window here. For PL, their hopes may be dashed.
3 people slipping through their fingers. Which
means that Weibo
are lost.
This is their opportunity. The only thing that stands before them is Souk, the solo from Weibo Gaming, the championship in their fingertips. Can Souk clutch it up? If he does so, he will be stealing the championship away. Horta continues to push him. Dead to rights, but the nades can't get it, and Souk stays alive.
It's only a matter of time. He's taking coin flip after It's burning at his feet. It's not connecting though. They're not connecting. Souk is weathering the storm that is battering down this shack.
Right, Souk trying his best to stay alive, but all it takes is one good connection. Another nade goes in. Is it going to be good? Yes, it is. And Weibo will fall. APG already out, and Yangon Galacticos will take PMWC 2025 in sensational fashion.
The madman from Myanmar. PMWC sent over to East Asia once again. Happy to receive it. They go down. They have done the work. It is over. We just need to lock it in. Know what they've done, and they need to be proud of themselves.
They worked hard to get here. They hug it out, and rightly so. What a relief it is to be champions, to submit your name in PUBG Mobile history. That's exactly what they did. And for the remainder of the points, we still have something up for grabs for DRX. Maybe they can pass Regnum Karia and break in. Eliminated, but it comes down, of course, to the placement points. We're now down to our top 2.
They should have been able to leapfrog Regnum Karia. They jumped up to 4th place, but that is a beautiful result for Yangon Galacticos. They do not need a chicken dinner. They'll take it home on the point. Galacticos, and that allows the Yangon Galacticos boys to hold their nerve on the hillside. They're playing up on the ridgeline. They keep their heads down and they allow the mistakes to unfold around them, and that seems to be the story of the grand finals. Let everyone else make the mistakes.
That's right.
Play it sensible. Play it smart.
With their early point lead, they were able to just play good old-fashioned PUBG Mobile. They didn't have to do anything fancy. They didn't have to go out of their way to do anything extraordinary. And like you said, that led to plenty. Yangon Galacticos dominating the tournament without question. They refused to relinquish first place. Once they grabbed it, nobody was able to overtake it. The dominating performance in PMWC 2025. The final 2 teams fight. The only thing that's up for grabs is a potential elevation to the top 10. Ida moves up. Starts to fire the shots. I love the angle from Jiggle, who's going to be just up to the mark. Darkin might be able to mow him down. We already know our champion, but we still need to crown a winner-winner chicken dinner.
One more to be earned. That meal may be a little bit ashen, but it will be nice nonetheless. We've also got things like MVP to consider coming on afterwards as well. Some nice prizes for plenty of players to try and chow down on to boot. Azora look to try and close the jaws here. Ida had the compound for the longest time. They were this bastion in the middle of this circle, and now Aura may be able to play the final map here. You can see the elation is sinking in for the boys on Yangon Galacticos. They are smiling ear to ear. They have earned it.
Insane. And I want to say, right, we respected them coming into this tournament.
ခေါင်းနဲ့နေဒီကတော့ကျွတ်စင်ကြီးနေပါအတင်းနဲ့နေကောင်းနေနေ
be in first place, yet they took it by storm. They saw the opportunity and they did not waste it. Darkin starts to move up. Blue most likely takes some out. Nazis only he's going to be very low health. Order. Rita fighting it out. Jiggle from a distance. Another one will fall. There's Darkin finally out. Victory. Very, very soon, Rita tries to clutch up. Can't do it. Order will take our final game of the tournament. But of course, the narrative has to go to Yangon Galacticos. Go winners. WC
မြန်မာဖလားရခဲ့ပြီပတ်ပြီနော်
bows their heads in awe of Yangon Galacticos for Smile, for Mernat, for Romeo, for Say Cloud. This is their moment. They have done it. That trophy sits in the middle of the stage. It's only a moment.
မိမလည်းအတင်းစစ်စကူဆိုတဲ့ကောင်ပြောတဲ့ကောင်မိမတို့စစ်စကူလို့ပါတော့စစ်ဆက်ရှိလို့ပြောတဲ့ကောင်မိမတို့ပြောင်းလေကောင်ကြီးခမန်းကောင်ကြီးပြောင်းလေမိမတို့စစ်စကူပြောတော့စကူတွေပိုင်းနဲ့သုံးတက်ပါစို့
16 keys started for this championship.
ဘယ်ကောင်ပြောတာ
In the grand finals, 15.
ဘယ်ကောင်ပြောရလဲစစ်စကူတွေပိုင်းနဲ့တိမ့်ပါလို့
Galacticos the only one to maintain their position, to
ဒီ
maintain
တော့ရုပ်ချောတာပဲရှိတာတော့ကြည့်တယ်တော့မိုင်းမီ
performance again, a team
နင်တို့တန်ဟုတ်တယ်မလား
throughout every
ဒါ
single
ပဲ
stage.
လက်ကောင်းခက်လာ
Galacticos earning
ဒါပဲ
their
ငါညနေရတော့လက်ကောင်းခက်နေ
refusing to relinquish first place all the way to the very end.
As they take towards the crusher, you can see
Lý
they
Thiên, Lý
will be
Thiên.
dropping those keys. They will be picking up their own to rise above the rest, to be the one. It is Yangon Galacticos.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have found our champions. Sorry, I'm stepping on your flag. The team, they persevered, they climbed the mountain, they survived the gauntlet that was Smash Sunday. Incredible. Congratulations, gentlemen. Emotions are, of course, running high. We could all see from your faces you knew midway through that game that you managed to secure the win. But for now, let's start things slow. Let's start things easy, okay? First and foremost, I would like to invite our key master, Dominic. He's going to come out and present you with your Esports World Cup key. There you have it.
Esports
Look
World
at
Cup
that.
key
And so you know what you have to do now, don't you, gentlemen? We have to send your opponents down from the grand finals, okay? We are going to crush these keys. Say, Cloud, would you like to start us off? Why don't you turn the key and start those engines? Right, the engines are started. You'll feel it underneath your feet. Hold up. Okay. Hold up. Okay, Marnet, you can. Marnet, you can flick that switch. Push forward. There we go. Reveal that iris. We've opened it up. Look at those teeth. They are menacing. Okay. Master Smile, would you like to wave? Hold on. I'm going to give you a count. In 3, in 2, 1. Send them down.
bye
All those keys destroyed in the crusher. Your
key
enemies
destroyed.
have been
Sao thế nhỉ?
defeated. 15
Tôi hiểu.
teams' keys
Lấp
have
lại.
been sent down
Chắc xíu lại.
into the depths. And now that your key is the only one that is left intact, I would like you to take your PMWC trophy key and place that into the center of the trophy and go and claim your prize. Walk that golden road. Cement your legacy. Yangon Galacticos as our champions of PMWC. Congratulations.
hay ta bên nhưng không nó lâu rồi mất tàn này mình nhưng không nó lâu rồi thì trả lại cả trả lại cả để cô đi này nè hoa thì cô từ bên toa thì bên nam toa thì nhà nghe mà nó gì cũng còn cô biết kể đúng không gì chị nếu mọi người có cái giấy mà cho đi 係啩，當然就公園嘛對，出線啩。ပတ်မှာတော့ဖလားရခဲ့နောက်ဆုံးတော့ပတ်မှာတော့ဖလားရခဲ့ပြီမွေးနေ့ကျမှတော့များခဲ့ပြီပေါ့နောက်နှစ်ပေါ့ဟုတ်တယ်မလား
Gentlemen, that must have felt good. We're going to get Coach Marco over as well so that he can do some translating for us. But wow, what a day. There's a lot of emotions that you guys are feeling right now. Please try to put into words how you're feeling at this moment, Romeo.
အခုဘယ်လိုခံစားရလဲကျွန်တော်အရန်စိတ်လှုပ်ရှားတာပေါ့နော်ဘာလို့လဲဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့အရန်စိတ်ပူရတယ်ရှေ့ပွဲဆိုနည်းနည်းအမားလေးရဖြစ်သွားတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့ကျွန်တော်နောက်ဆုံးပွဲမှာကျွန်တော်လုံနိုင်တယ်ဆိုတာအကုန်လုံးကိုယုံကြည်တယ်ဘာလို့ဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကတာနေတယ်အဲ့တော့ကျွန်တော်တို့အမားမခံဘူးတစ်ဖက်တင်းမားပါပဲကျွန်တော်တို့စောင့်နေအဲ့ဒါပဲကျွန်တော်တို့နောက်ဆုံးထိကျွန်တော်ချန်ပီယံကြီးကိုယူခဲ့တာပါ
Yes, what Romeo say is, of course we are nervous. We are top of the league, you know. We just like did some mistake the previous rounds, but you know, like we just wait, like we just play our own game and then wait their mistakes, and then we know that we can do it. We have a confidence to make it happen. Yeah.
Well, you definitely proved it up here. Say, Cloud, I'm going to come to you now because I want to ask you. We've heard some information that the teams that you would like to place in the base of your trophy, the crushed keys, are Alpha Gaming, Alter Ego, Erez, and Weibo Gaming. Can you tell us why you decided to choose those teams?
မင်းဘာလို့အဲ့လိုအတင်းနေဘယ်လိုရွေးခဲ့လဲပေါ့ဟိုမင်းတို့ငါတို့ခက်ခဲတဲ့အတွက်လား
Alpha Gaming ကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဘာလို့ဆိုတော့ဒီ day 1 day 2ထိနောက်ဆုံးထိကျွန်တော်တို့လိုက်ပြီးတော့ pressure ပေးတဲ့အတင်းပေါ့နော် Alter Ego ကတော့ဒါစီမှာဘယ်လိုပြောမလဲ PNS ကတော့နှစ်တင်စတိုက်ရထားတဲ့အတင်းဆိုတော့ respect
So what he say oh sorry keep going
Weibo ကတော့တည့်ရတိုင်းပါပဲအခုနောက်ဆုံးချိန်ထိသူတို့ကဘာလဲဆိုတာပြရတဲ့အတွက် so yeah
So actually, of course, like APT is a very good team, and then they gave us good pressure previous game before. Of course, Alter Ego, we respect Alter Ego because they are top level team. Of course, also Weibo Gaming. Everyone know Weibo Gaming. They are top of the league all the time. So we respect everything. Thank you.
That's good, showing your respect. Thank you so much. I'm going to come around here. Master Smile, we had a few opportunities to speak throughout the week, and you had some great performances, of course. You know, the crowd's been brilliant, haven't they? And you've got so many fans, you know, supporting you guys online, from home, family as well. Is there anything that you would like to say to them?
Thank you so much, everyone.
That is so kind of you. Thank you so much. Would you like to say anything as well, Mane? I feel like I'm leaving you out. What would you like to say?
အခုလို champion ရသွားတဲ့အတွက်ကျွန်တော်ရန်လဲပျော်တယ်ရန်လဲစိတ်လို့ရှာတယ်ကျွန်တော်ဒီညီကိုရင်းနဲ့ champion ရတဲ့အတွက်ရန်ပြီးဂုဏ်ယူတယ်ပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့အားပေးနေတဲ့ fan တွေကိုလည်းအကျန်းကျေးဇူးတင်တယ်နောက်ပြီးတော့မောင်ပြီးကြရောနောက်လည်းဆက်ပြီးအားပေးကြပါအောင်လို့အားလုံးပြောချင်ပါတယ်ကျွန်တော်မြန်မာနိုင်ငံကိုစောင့်နိုင်တဲ့အတွက်ရန်ကိုဂုဏ်ယူပါတယ်
So what he's saying is like of course yes he nervous but he very happy at the same time and then because he make it happen with these players he's so proud of that proud of our country of course so he want to say something to the fans who watching online that's keep cheering for us thank you for the cheerings for the next game we were waiting we're coming for the next game too next time again
I love that. That's good. Thinking into the future already. Well, congratulations. Stay right here. I will be right back because what would a tournament be without some standout performances that we have had? Be careful. Walk your way over here because we have our Sony MVP of the PMWC here standing next to me. It is Doc from Alpha Gaming, everybody. Congratulations, Doc. You are absolutely phenomenal. Okay, because for one final time, Gadia Esports Arena, make some noise for your 2025 PMWC champions at the Esports World Cup. It is Yangon Galacticos.
Yangon. 出線啩買嘢。
A dream come true, written in gold. Yangon Galacticos becomes the champions of PMWC 2025. What a moment for those 4 boys here, being able to conquer adversity, launch themselves into the stratosphere as Yangon Galacticos is your champions. Joining me here to talk about everything that has gone down, 7 Neptura Max. This is their moment, a moment that they will remember for a lifetime.
A moment that nobody expected them to be here. This is a team that qualified through PUBG Mobile Challenger South Asia Cup. For them to be able to go that route and not really have that much global experience. Only 3 of their players had PMGC experience in PNWI, and that was back in 2023. What an amazing performance, Neptura.
Fantastic coming in from them. It's so nice to see some fresh faces in here, faces we've not seen in a while, coming in onto the international stage and absolutely dominating.
Taking down giants here at PMWC, outliving Alpha 7, taking down Weibo Gaming, Alpha Gaming at the very end here, at this very last match. Truly just making a statement that anyone can dominate in PUBG Mobile Esports, and here Myanmar is the one to take it home.
It's a true underdog story, and you don't get them often in esports, which is so exciting for me to watch, for us to witness, for everybody.
ကဲမြန်မာလည်းရသွားပြီဆိုတော့မိုက်တယ် Congratulations မြန်မာဟိုင်းကြီးချင်းကဲအလုံးမတက်တာပါကိုလည်းနားတော့မယ်အဲ့ချင်းနေပြီဆောင်ရင်ပြောရတယ်ကိုပါတယ်